Hey, welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's a surprise Wednesday stream, May 14th, 2025. Hopefully you are doing well. We were out yesterday. Mind you, we were with family. Yesterday was my dad's 70th birthday. So we traveled out to Ontario to celebrate and Mother's Day and a bunch of other stuff at the same time. But we missed our Tuesday stream. So we're back today to hang out and just play some Netrunner. It's been a moment. Hopefully you're doing well. Hey, Board, Sub from the UK. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing okay. Veronica, I'm doing great. Hopefully you're doing well as well. Hopefully Wednesday finds you as well. It's not a Tuesday, as it's sacred own energy for sure. Our last song sounds like a shop in an N64 game. It does have like Wii Shop energy. Droids, how's it going? It's called Sir, This Is a Duck, and it's very short. It's like a 1.5-minute song, and I like it a lot whenever it comes on. Welcome back. Hey, Zephlebot, thanks so much. How you doing? D6 Damager, welcome to the stream. How you doing? It reads your emoji out in Restream bot mode. It's popcorn, but technically it's popcorn yellow striped smile. How you doing? Neither and Garrett, good morning, yo. How y'all doing? Daojin, how's it going? How's your weekend? I don't know if you went out and played at the event. There was an event here in Montreal on the weekend. It was a CTK. It had like 15 players, which is really good. Our events, like even the small stake events have had good, people showing up. We had like 13 people on a GNK on a Tuesday night, 15 people. Obviously, new set is hype. But it's, yeah, I couldn't make it on that one. I'm going to check out some of the standings after. Watching Group Stain. How's it going, Isel? Enjoy your evening at this point. Sir, This Is a Duck is a great name for elevator music. Yeah, I think they understood the spec relatively well. Sylvia, how you doing? Hey, Wayne. Hello, Antway. Feels like it's been a while. How you doing? Hello. Hey, Roshni, I got to catch a full stream for once since I don't have Tuesday therapy in the middle. Hey, so you didn't reschedule, which honestly, like, your therapy seems important. Glad you can make it. How you doing? Hopefully you've been well. First time catching you live in such a long time. I know, it feels like it's been a long time. Hopefully you will. Maybe you're enjoying Elevation. Maybe Tuesday time slots don't make a lot of sense for you, but welcome. Today is a stream in which we're going to probably play a lot of the Zwicky Group, because it is an identity that I haven't had enough time to just like sit down and grind games. It's been the thing that I've been playing kind of casually, and I have a couple versions of the deck. But I do think it's an identity that it's like Identity Box actually allows you to build different multiple things. And I think the one thing that I've been focused on is mostly fast advance. So while I'm going to try in some fast advance games and change the shell a bit, I think we're also going to move on and do Modernism, because I'm pretty sure if you take a Bangan deck and just change it to Zwicky, it's probably a bit of a better deck, because this ability is just a lot more straightforward. Hey Jade, howdy from the UK. It's time to get Zwicky with it. It's a really fun identity too, which is like cannot be understated. Just drawing a card feels good. The once per turn ability, it is just kind of hard to fire it on your runner's turn, but it just feels okay. I don't think green meal feels as good as I wanted it to feel. I think you have to forfeit this for this to be good, but you kind of just want the point because 7 is an odd number. But forfeiting this and gaining 4 credits on a card feels fine. I just feel like gaining 2 credits is such a frustratingly low number. Like if this was 3 credits, I feel like I'm doing something, but you basically pass the turn and do nothing, and that feels so bad. Install advance, gain 2. It's like, oh, okay. So what'd you do on your turn? Not much, it turns out. Wednesdays are better for me. Hooray. Yo, Jeff, how's it going? I was watching something the other day. I was watching Mythbusters, and your field of profession came up, and I knew what it was because of that. Except instead of analyzing whatever the cool stuff you analyzing, they were analyzing farts, and it was really funny. But it was like, oh, this is what Jeff is doing out in the field, looking at farts. Hey Dan, thanks for the off day stream on my birthday. Very kind of you. Yo, happy birthday, Dan. Hopefully you're having a good one. Yo, that's sick. Hopefully your Wednesday is good. Hey Grid. Sorry, that's me. Hello, Mr. Grid. Hello, chat. Hey, Floating Fast. How you doing? Zwicky is great fundamentals. It's like, it's weird. To me, it doesn't feel like fundamentals. It just feels like gas, which is kind of cool. I say that in the best way possible. Like, it doesn't feel like it's a fundamentals ID that's like engineering the future where you're trying to do one thing per turn. It just feels like you're kind of going fast, which I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate it in like fast advance, but I also really appreciate it if you're playing Modernism and you just have to stay like one step in front of the runner. Like, I think that makes a lot of sense. This is a version of a deck. I'll talk about this in a second once I catch up on chat that I don't feel perfect about. I do think there's some things we can change and move around. But from my experience, like this has felt kind of cool. It snowballs. 13 agendas might be a bit cursed. I've been told like maybe don't play Eminent, and I like Eminent, mind you. We're playing BOX, and maybe I'll feel a bit better about green mails if I actually just res my BOX for like, free with the green mail as long as you have the 4 credits. I've worked with the other product of that area rather than farts. Yeah, of course, that's what you'd say. You don't want to be the fart scientist. Hey, Red, definitely looking forward to the Modernism version when it's VOD time. Yo, we'll get to it for sure. I think that's going to be a bit more, maybe even powerful than this, because I can't tell how good this is. Hey, Dave Z, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you too. It's a grid, Brennan. How you doing? 13 is so many. 13 is a lot. And there's a lot of one-pointers in the list, right? Like we have 6 one-pointers in the deck, which seems like a lot. From my experience, it hasn't felt that bad, and that's mostly because we're playing Moonpool, and I really appreciate Moonpool in a deck with a lot of agendas, because it means that we can score out and fix agenda flood. The problem is we're really soft on R&D, so I do think we eventually have to get a Biowak on R&D, but we can generally dump HQ. Very notably, there's not a lot of multi-axis in HQ in the modern meta. Besides like Docklands Pass, I feel like the only honest HQ multi-axis is Copulation, and that usually takes like a turn or two to set up. It's not super common. I think you're mostly seeing it out of Shaper these days, if I'm not mistaken. It feels like that sort of like aggro Anarch that was playing Copulation doesn't exist at the modern moment. I could be wrong about that. But like holding multiple agendas in HQ doesn't seem too bad all the time, especially because we have reasonable HQ ice in general, like Winchester and Afshar and stuff like that. But the cool thing with Moonpool, again, if you have a lot of agendas, you can save that problem and actually push yourself forward. And also we have red level clearance, which means we can actually like fast events out, I think a 4-2, if I'm not mistaken. If you red level clearance out of Moonpool, then you do install agenda, advance events, and then you get double advancements, which is kind of nice. I could totally see ourselves cutting the 3 eminence for either a 3-pointer or yeah, probably just a 3-pointer and calling it a day there. And at that point, we probably still play Moonpools. I think the things that I don't like about this deck, I need to try playing Government Subsidy. I was talking with Sindarin, who's playing a version of this list, and playing Gov Sub seems to work out for him. I don't get it entirely. I love the 1x measured response. It's cheesy, but it's like such an easy slot to have a game plan attached to. But yeah, I think KPI has been better than I thought it would be, as much as you often want to hit this ability, which is the worst ability on KPI. But at least for Zwicky, it draws a card, which is nice. The ice, I think I'd move around a bit. I don't like the Valenchows. I think I'll play one Valenchow, but that's only if I'm playing Eminent. If I'm not playing Eminent, I don't think we play Valenchow unless we're playing Government Subsidy. I do think you can play, what's it called? Fly Swatter. I think you could also play more barriers, like maybe a 1 of Logjam is fine. Maybe a big barrier is okay. Only HQ multi-X's Copulation is twinning erasure. Sure, but twinning like takes time. Like you see the twinning coming. It's like if I have a Moonpool and they have like a twinning down, it's like, oh, I'll probably be fine. They have a window. I'm worried that we're coming to escape net meta, I'll be honest, but yeah. Seb is also playing 1x Eye for an Eye Manuel for HQ multi-access. Yeah, totally. And I'm actually really scared. Donald, how's it going, by the way? I'm really scared of Seb. I think Seb is quite good. I don't know how good Seb's matchup is into this. You have some like really bad like matchup points. The fact that the Biowak gets destroyed instantly, like that feels bad. Maskarovka seem really annoying for Seb. I think those lists are on Audrey, so it's a bit of a mixed bag for sure. But yeah, Eye for an Eye, I guess, is technically like, it's the same idea that Moosely Hot is playing Jailbreak. It's like, that's the biggest, there's no legwork, is all I'm saying, right? The heck is this, a Wednesday stream? Pat, how's it going? We missed the other day. How you doing? Time to get Zwicky with it. I'm sure nobody said that yet, ever. Zen, like 5 minutes ago. How you doing? It looks like you did quite well at the last event. Hopefully you had a great time. Your Leo deck that you played on the stream that I was producing last week, was it at this point, has some really cool lines in it that I'm actually fascinated by. Hey, Laura, whoa, off day stream. Yeah, we missed the Tuesday, so we're back here. Is Moonpool just the biggest winner after rotation? I feel like I see it everywhere now. I think I said in the video I did with Jeff with the, what's it called, the tier list, that this is the card that I've been splashing the most of. And I do think it just has like natural synergies with a bunch of the identities. Like maybe it's a bit awkward, you could argue, with P2 and Tien, but it seems really good with Oko for many reasons. I like it because I'm in Wayland. I think it's totally fine. I think there's some really good HB decks that are playing this unironically, either by playing sports-esque like in Poetry, but also like PD type decks. There's some posted decks right now that are playing this that are quite good. I even see some Nebula decks playing this because it's one of the ways that Nebula can control cards in hand, and it is a card that works with red level clearance and some other stuff, and Nebula has sometimes an issue where they play too many agendas and they flood up and there's not that many ways to deal with it. I don't know about that. I haven't tried that. I haven't played a lot of Nebula, but it just seems like such a flexible card that can see play in so many different archetypes. It's 3 to trash, which is like not bad at all in the modern meta as well. So seems good. Seems kind of quite useful. I like it a lot. Twinning though, that's yes, yeah. Twinning is a thing. It's just like twinning is not something I'm worried about on turn 3 or 4 usually, right? If you know what I mean. Did we lose any HQ multi-axis? It's not like people were playing legwork. Yeah, it's not like they're playing legwork, but technically we lost legwork, which is like people aren't playing burner at all anymore either. It just seems like event-based shaper doesn't exist. So I think those are the two more common, but I do think it's more so that less people seem to be playing copulation. The shaper decks are strange. I don't know what they're up to. I do think they're playing copulation, but like Amakua Anarch doesn't exist anymore. That was a big copulation deck. So like the burst multi-axis is a bit slower. NSG design seems like they don't want too big of haymakers too early. Yeah, I guess so. Like copulation's a bit slow. It's still really good. ScapeNet meta is absolutely in the tech I'm considering. Yeah, I would consider it for sure. I think you have some problems against twinning if you're playing some of them like more honest HB decks, and it's such an easy card to put in your deck, unfortunately. Hey, Tom3K, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. You can't endorse KPI and Zwicky like this. I've been arguing with my roommate for ages. You finish resolving it and you still only go up a credit. Yeah, so let's talk about it, right? So the big thing with Zwicky is that its interrupt has really weird timing. It says the first time each turn you gain credits through an ability on an agenda or operation, you may draw one card. So this actually interrupts the operation resolution. So if you're playing a modal card like KPI, if you first, and you often want to first gain 2 credits, then immediately you draw a card, and then in theory you can install that card with this. From my thing that I've seen before, from my experience, these two are the best by a mile. With Zwicky, the fact that you can play this card again with Plutus does give you a bit more value when you play the minor value here. But if this is gain 1 credit, draw a card, and install an ice for free, that's actually relatively good. I think installing Deeper Ice is it's very prohibitively expensive. And this saving the 2 or 3 credits makes it easily like a 3 or 4 credit econ card. Right? Like putting your second or third ice, then you're gaining a credit, you're drawing a card and saving 2 credits. Like that actually becomes a pretty okay econ card. It's not a card I want 3 of because I don't think I want this on turn 1 that actively, because on turn 1, these abilities aren't that good. This one's not bad. I've seen a lot of people do this. What's really awkward is that you have to figure out whether you want to shuffle the card back before or after you draw the card. But in theory, you draw the card here and then you draw the card here and then you shuffle the card back, which is like, yeah, I don't know. It's not like you want to shuffle the card back and then draw it immediately by doing this, but it's like not perfect. It's actually one of the worst places for KPI. And I think KPI is actually like a very solid Wayland card that allows you to do some pretty good like tempo plays. Like install an ice for free in advance. Sick. Actually really quite good. As much as you paid for that advancement, that's like really nice that you spend 1 click to get that second ice, that third ice, and the advancements, which with this agenda suite, we don't really do the advancement thing, but like threatening a 4-2 out of nowhere is kind of nice. I kind of like it. I wish I could play more KPI if I wanted to play Humanoid and HB, which has been tricky, but this is the sort of card I'd love to Humanoid if I can on most board states. It's very, very good. I was hoping to keep iterating on these decks. I think probably have something with my Leo deck if I actually spend influence for anything more than 1 Wayland Byroid. I don't even like that Wayland Byroid set, I'll be honest. I feel like that is not the card that you need, but you have so much influence to work with. I think it's really cool. Moonpull wins when agenda suites get scuffed. Yeah, maybe that's more of an HB problem. Here, it just seems like luxurious. It's also just like hand management. Like, I don't want to admit that I've dumped my whole hand when they've ran HQ, and I'm just like, I'll get rid of all these cards for 3 credits. Like, that's not a great use of money, but we'll see how it goes. What's been working for people with Leo? Been testing some things myself. I'm feeling a bit too broke. I've been really enjoying Leo. I think Leo is easily my favorite identity from the set. I think I've just been playing like good stuff, HB Glacier, like nothing too flashy. I've been using influence on some strong defensive upgrades. I've been playing some Mitra. I've been playing Antil Excavation, which I don't think this deck should be on 3 of them. I think that's really, really good. I think the reality is I'll probably stop playing Humanoid and start playing Regolith. And I think the cool thing is if I start playing more Regolith, I'll have more money and then I can probably afford top-down solutions, which I do think is a very, very good card overall. So that's what I'm coming down to. I think I need to try Holloman as well. I think Holloman in Leo is also kind of nice, as long as you have the money up front. So if that's, I'm probably playing more Regoliths to afford that. But I do have an issue because it looks like you have to play at least 2 copies of Send a Message, if not 3 copies. And I feel like in the mid game, I don't really want to score it out that safely, that I'm holding, like I'm waiting for seamless launches a bit too much to score, because it feels like a lot of my play patterns never want me to advance. I don't want to go install advance in the remote server, but that might actually be a problem for me. I do think I should be doing that more. So I think Holloman might be interesting in the deck for influence as well, as long as you have the money. But the deck is really fun. Puts a lot of pressure on the runner for sure. Hey, Dude Light, what a great Wednesday. Welcome. I put KP on my Leo to get effect of installing ice on tall servers. Yeah, I don't think I've ever put more than 3 ice on Leo servers, but I do think KPI is totally fine for putting the second ice. Like second ice and then gaining an advancement for 1 is like kind of fine. Stream is truly unsubstantiated. I was going for something there, but I can't seem to get a solid 4. How's it going, Joel? KBO is also the best operation to trigger at the end of the humanoid. Yeah, it's very, very good. I think that's one of the problems with humanoids, and this brings me back to my seamless launch issue, is that after I fire a humanoid, I want to jam an agenda, but then I don't have clicks to put advancements on the agenda. So unless I have a seamless launch in my hand, and you can't seamless launch because seamless launch has put advancements on a card that wasn't installed this turn, I can't score out a 4-2 on the back of a humanoid without having the seamless launch, which you do. You have 3 seamless launches. Like, it's not that hard, but I feel like that might be better for Holloman so that I can actually score on an agenda and keep tempoing forward. But that's the hard thing with humanoid is like, This operation clause is actually really, really hard in HB to feel like you're, in at least like reg HB to feel good about. I think I'm playing greasings, I'm playing hedge funds, I'm not playing RLCs. I just can't push a 4-2 after I fire Humanoid. It feels really bad. I don't know. This card is good for sure. It's just like not obviously, it's not easily good in the decks that want to play it. I think it's gonna be good in weird places and like acid places. The draw shuffle being the worst mode checks out, as that's the hanging fourth option added by design dev instead by Sokka. Yeah, so I've heard that's not what Sokka wanted, but they're like, no, you should put it in there. And I think Sokka also like might not have realized at the time that this was designed how much internal synergy this will have with the set, which I think actually really did a lot for a KPI. Vovo Leo, Vovo is a sick econ card. I have not played Vovo in that list. I feel like my list already has like 8 upgrades, and I don't want to put the 9th and 10th and 11th upgrade into the deck. So I haven't played Vovo. I feel like I'm not going to play Makoto Langi grid because you're playing the other grid, which is just a lot better, and it's really, really good Tranquility. But I feel like every time I build a Leo deck, I have way too many upgrades, and so adding Vovo just seems really, really difficult. Vovo's great, play Vovo. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure about that. I just feel like I'm already have way too many upgrades to feel good about it. Can we use the Moonpool to force a runner to hit a Beholder Bite, maybe? Yeah, we can. This deck can't, but you can always dump cards from hand at instant speed, so they have a higher chance of accessing the bad thing. Notably, this also can shuffle non-agendas back into the deck as long as they're face down, or you trash them, which like very, very minor ability. This is frustrating because the face down clause, it doesn't work with slash and burn, so you can't save your slash and burns with Moonpools. You can't save them, excuse me, which is like, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. But still very flexible. I think the answer is just load-bearing Rego, but it feels awkward. It's not that bad. I don't think it's that bad. The Regoliths feel good. You empty them relatively quick. I've been surprised with how much worse Seamless feels without the free Rashida draw. I agree, Tron. I totally agree. How's it going, by the way? Is I'm either hoping for Seamless and can't get it consistently, or if I have it, like, I don't even, yeah, I don't know. I haven't consistently had Seamless in every hand the way that you felt like I used to. And that being said, too, that was PD, which is a 44 card deck, and now Ellie has 49. So it's a bit of one, a bit of two. Yeah, it's Wednesday, Joel. What's the event you said you produced a stream for last week? Oh, last week I was at Backroom Deals on YouTube. So normally, I think it's the vanity is this. So mind you, this is John and Kate, who are friends. They live in Montreal. I've been as a guest before they do streaming. But the issue is generally the unpaid intern is behind the scenes hitting all the buttons to make all the pop-ups happen. And the unpaid intern can't get Netrunner time in, and right now the unpaid intern is actually like learning standard and getting into the game. So I offered to be like, hey, let me do the running stuff behind the scenes, so you don't see me. I'm not functionally part of the stream, but I was just on the last stream so that like John and Kate can play a game. It was fun. It was cool. But that was the thing I was producing. It was not like an event. It was just hanging out with friends. Load bearing Trank and Leo. Trank is so good. Caught Humanoid from Elio after testing. It's a good card, but it just felt too bad too often. I don't think it's ever felt too bad that I was like upset about it, but it's definitely not felt like amazing. It's not felt stellar. But I do think it's the sort of thing where like deck building can change to make it work. But that's the issue. It's like when your economy is all based off of Tranquility Home Grid, right? Like you already have this restriction where you don't feel like you want to play a lot of operations because operations don't work with your thing. You need to play a lot of Biroids. You need to play a lot of things that go into remote servers. You need to play a lot of agendas. And at the end of the day, you're lucky if you can find, like 8 operation slots, and 8 is on the cusp of making sense for Humanoid. But the problem is out of those 8, generally 3 of them are Seamless, and Seamless is like unplayable after a Humanoid turn. So you functionally only have like 5 agendas or 5 operations you can play after a Humanoid. It's really awkward. It's not super easy to make it make sense. Right now, maximize my humanoids, really warp my LEO deck building, and may rearrange the whole econ package. Yeah, exactly, Pat. That's the thing. It's like, it makes you do things that I don't know if are actually beneficial for the deck or not. Humanoid feels really fun, and I cannot undersell that. Is that even ultimately, at the end of the day, if this card is deemed not good enough, it feels fun to fire. It's exciting to fire. I will recur this with the drafter if it fires. Like, it's just good. It does enough stuff. It does enough stuff that it feels fine. It's like, this is Rashida, but then your whole turn is to install 2 cards. Unless you can fire the operation. And if your turn was install 2 cards on an operation, yeah, this is technically an inflexible Rashida, and that's like a really good thing. But like, this is technically Rashida, but then it's also your whole damn turn. So you need to make sure your past Rashida turn is installed to play an operation, which after some Rashida turns, that was the case. It's just like Reg HB is not very good at playing an operation. So then you only get a 2-click turn, but you do technically still get what feels like a Rashida. Weird. It's very, very weird. You got to do the countdown. The countdown is very fun, and I don't think I've messed it up yet. I always pay 1 just so I can gain 4 credits, so I don't do 3, 3, 2, 1, which is gross. Vovo's a force multiplier on upgrades as they become free or almost free. I'm not worried about Vovo having text when we're on threat 4. It's just not a huge concern because generally when we're on threat 4, I'm already in a really good spot because I'm on game point, and LEO on game point is actually really frightening because if they can build a server that costs you, like your whole turn, let alone, 12 credits to run, then they can just end the run. So I feel like I don't need an LEO. I don't need a force multiplier for the late game. I need something that will get me through the early to mid game and allow me to stabilize. And like Regolith is kind of that, right? Like put Regolith in a remote server, take 6 credits off of it. Like that's kind of fine. Like I would consider doing that for sure. Even like top-down solutions feels really good with Regolith because you can top down, get an ice down, get the Regolith down, and then just start emptying the Regolith. Like these are the sort of cards I want to play a bit more together. But I just don't think Vovo is what I need immediately, right? Like making Boomy cost 1 credit fewer, they'll just click through the Boomy anyways and trash the Vovo. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. I would consider trying it, but I'm pretty sure, again, I'm already on 8 upgrades. I don't feel great about it. I'm on 11 upgrades, but it guarantees consistent trank triggers. Yeah, I know. That's the issue. It's like I had a list that had like 11 upgrades in it. I was even playing Isaac, which I don't think the deck wants really. And it's just like, no, that's way too many upgrades. You draw hands where it's like, here's 3 upgrades. What do you do with it? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Runners think he's a buy run and you get a free mind game. I'm not going to count on that. The art kind of suggests he is a buy right though. I like this art a lot. Hey, Jai, how's it going? You still on service? You can save your slash and burns if you play Kakarembo. I mean, okay. If that Andre's too kind or just the right, the right amount of kind. Let me run the stream so you can run the net. Yo, Lucy, how's it going? Happy Wednesday. I'd be more excited about Humanoid out of Leo with the operation if it was a Biroid and could protect my upgrades. Yeah, if Humanoid was a Biroid, that actually would do a lot. Well, that's the weird thing. It's like you almost never want to trash your asset unless it's exactly as you said, protecting your upgrades. And your upgrades are really, really valuable. I feel like that's the sort of deck where if I had an extra slot for Vovo, I'd honestly play another Managarm. I think Managarm is just really good. People don't often click through the Biroids, so sometimes they have some choices here. But like Managarm having the force multiplier of LEO gives you a lot more options. Where if they run it and they have either too few clicks or too few credits, you obviously can trash LEO and then make that more consistent. And like the LEO decks I'm playing can't even fit in a second Managarm, which makes me a bit dubious about Vovo, but I don't know. 4 clicks equals 10 actions worth. Feels like it should be good. Slimeox, I mean, it feels like it should be good, but it's somewhat underwhelming. Weirdly enough, somewhat underwhelming, or more so, like, there's also like the bad things. When Humanoid fires and you just draw a bunch of agendas and then you have to pass your turn, like that's ugly. Hopefully you have a Spin Doctor. I guess that did happen with Rashida, but the thing is you have your whole turn with Rashida to deal with it. So like, I don't know. Like one of my Humanoid triggers that I was playing at the event last weekend, I had to Humanoid, install an agenda, install a Spin Doctor on top of the agenda. Because that was the only way I could fix my hand, because my hand had 4 agendas in it. Like you end up doing bad stuff sometimes to Humanoid. Legitimately, Humanoid, first install agenda, second install Spin Doctor, trashing the agenda, because I had no way to fix my hand. And sometimes you just got to do that. And then in theory, you can pre-res the Spin Doctor, so then you can discard your cards. No shot, we're calling Humanoid bad. I think it's not that great, actually. I've watched most of the tier list. I am up to Wayland, I think. I don't think it's as good as a lot of other people think it is. I like how the tier lists actually have a lot of disagreement this year. There's some cards that like really fluctuate, which is wild. HR at a Nebula? I haven't seen anybody actually build the Nebula remote server deck yet. Even when you get the 3rd click, it feels shorter than normal HB turn because of no wage workers. I think it's also like the downside of this card, that this feels bad. It's like your turn, if it whiffs, it feels bad. Like you just pass your turn. It's like the exact sort of thing I brought up with Green Mail. Like the thing that Green Mail emotionally feels bad is your turn doesn't exist. Like unless you're firing a Tucana, you're just being like install advance events 2, draw a card with Zwicky pass. Like your whole turn was draw a card. Admittedly, you're adding 1 point to the score area, but like it doesn't feel good. I wish this felt good. Scoring a hostile and saying gain 5 credits go is like sick. I've actually progressed my board state forward. And if you think points are board state, you're not wrong. They technically are, but not in the way that I really care about. I don't know. It's just exactly like this, where if it whiffs, it feels like your turn didn't do that much. It's weird how draw 3, gain 3 for 3 clicks doesn't feel good. Making HR a good card involved finding a corp that wants to exactly go install op, which is a lot harder than it sounds. Yeah, Jai, that's exactly how I would put it. It's a lot harder than it sounds. It's not doomed card, and I think for 2 influence, you're definitely going to see it in weird places. But I think at the end of the day, it does not like slot into PD super elegantly, at least from my experience. How much have I missed? Clockwork, we've been streaming for about 31 minutes and 36 seconds, so not too much. Makota is better than Vovo IMO since it protects the autos. Well, I think if you're playing HB, it's really hard not to play Tranquility, but I'm not even playing auto in LEO. I'd rather put something in the remote server that actually can score. I don't know. I think I have some money issues. I think I'd rather play Rego or even Nico. Hey, Damian. Good evening, Andre. Excited for the new stream. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Gave a shout out, I believe, on the last stream on Thursday. Really appreciate it. Hey, Bane, how's it going? I get out on a Friday around your normal stream time. Ah. Well, look, Jai, you go out and celebrate the way that you want to. We'll be here regardless. Hopefully you've been having an okay 2 weeks. Axu Humanoid is not good. Bro, Cold Love, I'm not here. It's from you. Hey, Slimewalks, poor HP. I don't know. I think there's some really cracked HB decks in the modern meta. I do, and I have said this before in the video. My biggest problem with HB is the HB agenda suite is really unflexible. It feels bad. I don't think HB is doomed, but if you look at Agenda Z standard, like, you don't got a lot of options here. Specifically, you have no 5/3s, and so you end up having to play neutral 3-pointers unless you're playing a core damage deck, which, like, power to you if you're playing it. I do think there's some cool core damage decks, but like a lot of the Agenda suite is just like super inflexible, right? We lost the 1 of 3 too. Lightning Laboratory isn't a real card. Midnight 3 is cracked. ADT is cracked. Ingatan is kind of boring. Elevagao is like fine, and then like you're playing Off-World Office unironically and feeling good about it, right? I feel like if your deck loves Off-World Office, like, it's always liked Off-World Office, and I'd actually rather score an ADT than Off-World Office. It's just like, show me a 3-pointer I want to play. And it's like, it feels bad. You know, it feels really bad when ADT whiffs. How can ADT whiff, Laura? You install an agenda. And like, this is also the problem. It's like, to make ADT good, you have to make Humanoid bad, because you don't want to play like 7 operations. The thing with ADT is like, sure, if I get a Brawn and Elio, I'm absolutely ecstatic. But even if I get like an agenda, I'm fine. If I get an asset or an upgrade, I'm fine. Like, it's still okay. But yeah, this is where the, like, you see the sort of natural dyssynergy between ADT and Humanoid, where it's like, it doesn't always make sense all the time. Actually, you admitted to mostly playing Baldur's Gate for the last never in the tier list video. I think, what was it? In that tier list video, Snare Bears were called out for being scared of ice, which I thought was quite funny. Specifically, a German player said that. I was oddly impressed with Daily Quest and Elio doing a couple of test games. Worried it's a bit Widmore because it only works if you already have stabilized, but Big Deal Leo is interesting. Oh, Lockmanos, I haven't played Big Deal at all. I'm worried that inherently your deck being mostly Biroids makes you actually really bad at protecting an early asset like this, because obviously they can face check and click through your stuff. Now, if you trash their Boomy on turn 1, they just run back, and like Daily Quest is only functionally 1 credit to trash. Even if they get in and don't trash it, it's still a problem for you. But I'd be surprised. I just don't think, like, I would, if I can stick the Daily Quest, I can stick the Regolith, and I get more money faster off the Regolith than the Daily Quest. Like, sure, you have clicks, but the thing is with Elio playing Mersha, like, your clicks are not that heavily taxed. Like, if you have a Regolith and you have a Mersha, you're gaming. Like, you're doing so well for yourself, where you're building board state while having money, that I'd be very surprised of getting 3 credits clicklessly for, like, what's probably only 4 turns before you actually have to use the remote server. Pays out to be better than just, like, saving 3 to 9 influence on Regoliths. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell. I don't think I've been impressed with Daily Quest since Regolith came out, but there are decks that are playing it, or there were decks that were playing it at the same time. Assuming this funds a BOAC, you're clicking for 14 credits? I mean, okay, I'll wait for that, I guess. Feels like a setup for BOAC or Plutus. Greenmail that is. No, I agree. Like, you forfeit it. That's where it gets good. It's just like, I don't like those turns. Like, even the 2-0 felt better. Like, scoring a standoff felt better than Greenmail. Like, why does the 2-1 not feel good? Like, it's not about the balance of whether the card's good. The emotional response from scoring the Greenmail is like one of my least favorite parts of playing Wayland right now. It's like, I guess I'll do this. I have a moment. It feels like doing an errand more than it feels exciting. I was excited to score a hostile. This feels like, okay, I guess I have to do the laundry today. Like, this will be good for me in a week when I'm out of underwear, right? Like, I don't get it. It's not fun. I don't like this card. Hey, times a Netrunner. Sorry, how's it going? Kaku, welcome to the stream. How much of HR's power budget is in the operation? A lot. How much better would it feel if you whiffed 1 install but could play an operation? The thing is, like, you almost never whiff the install just because the way your deck is built. I think the installs are more impactful. It's just the operation is like losing a click off an ability is massively powerful. I feel like, I think they're both equally powerful. I just think you need the whole thing, right? Otherwise it feels bad. Standoff felt better. It did. Standoff felt better. You were playing like a fun mini game, and then you gained 5 credits. Like, you actually went credit positive, right? Like, it did feel more exciting to score this off. Of course it did. I've been thinking about decks all day lately. It's an interesting time to play the game. I'm glad you're stoked. ADT whiffing. Are you playing it in Nebula? I apologize. That was an excessive. We need Luminal back. I wouldn't be super surprised if Luminal comes back. I do think like it's way too early to tell. The meta needs to settle. I do think Luminal would actually help out like Poetry and those other sort of horizontal type decks. Like Elio, yeah, everybody actually would like Luminal, that's for sure. Saw a bunch of agendas. I don't like revealing them. Oh, Laura, you should. I think at the end of the day, like, especially if your server is safe, the click compression you get from drawing a card and installing in your remote server clicklessly is actually like worth something. Because then next turn you can jam out. If you're not forcing a problem on your opponent turn after turn after turn, you're basically just saying this turn I'm scoring and then you do whatever you want. Not letting them do whatever they want is actually worth a lot. Now, admittedly, if they run that server and they know it's an agenda and all that sort of stuff, like that's obviously bad for you, but that probably fires your Tranquility home grid. That gives you good value for sure. So I wouldn't, like, getting a Rashida from the top of the deck was sometimes equivalent, if not better, to Ice in some board states for sure. So just like keep that in mind is all I'm saying. Sometimes the agenda chain is really important because you can win a turn faster. So you don't have the off turn where you're not actually threatening anything. A player in Germany, specifically not a German player. Oh, okay. Is HR into a big deal thing? Yeah, I think you can do it, Pat. Hey, that's probably not awful, actually. Goated game, Baldur's Gate 3. I've done it once, so yeah, it's really funny, but not very consistent. HR install ADT, big deal. Install next thing, that's kind of cool. D&D is ass. It's so much worse than Divinity 2. Oh my god. Janita seems better than Daily Quest. I definitely wouldn't go that far. Because Janina only pays off once, and she's super, super fragile. Admittedly, Daily Quest is relatively fragile, but I don't know if I like Janina that much. I think we can let Leo play Luminal, maybe even PD, but I don't want to see another Poetry Thule with Luminal. I wonder what they can do with it. I like have Thule. Thule's been like a kind of a spot of the meta I haven't paid a lot of attention to. From my understanding, there are good Thule decks, and I'm not surprised. HB assets, you got to play it somewhere, I guess. And this seems like one of the better options. My guess is Poetry is not going to do anything for a while. I just don't think that what it provides is either as consistent or as powerful as some of the other HB identities. I feel like it might just be dead on arrival, at least for now. Maybe it needs more cards. I need to do laundry. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, actually, I get you. But when Leo's great, especially if your economy packages 3 Cyber Sand Harvesters. Well, mine's not, and I don't see why they would run if you do that. I think this card is coming back. I don't expect it to come back anywhere else. Oh, wow, I made my money back on agenda, and yeah, thank God they banned Bologna. Patrick, those are not the same. If they ran the Bologna, it cost them 5 credits. Like, Awful Office gives you 7. Hostile gave you 7. I don't have my money back, but like, that's exactly it. Board state hasn't changed is not exciting, right? If I gained 3 credits from this, I'd be like, huh, I gained a credit. That's cool. And thematically for what a green mail is, it kind of makes sense, right? Like you buy the stocks and then the sellout is later, but where the buyback is later. I don't know. That's exactly it. Nothing changes, and that just is like the most sleepy ending. At least the thing is with Bologna, there was like an excitement because you ended up going from your turn being at -2 credits to neutral. Like at least your turn changed and you went up credits. That's all I want. I don't care what I paid for this. I just went up credits at the end of the turn. It's not a logical response, it's an emotional response. Make me do something. Anyways. Have you ever been to Laundry Room and Blueprints? Laundry feels incredible. I've been to the Blueprints Laundry Room twice, and I've always felt like I haven't needed it, and I don't know why it's there. I'm glad it's there. I powered it up once, and it was like, okay, I'm not going to hit any of these buttons. How have these IDs been versus Seb? As Seb seems to win versus everything I've seen at the moment. Like Sebastio? I don't know. I haven't played Seb yet. Seb got a lot better with the set for a bunch of reasons. Card pool got better. I do think Seb's shtick just became a bit more reasonable. I don't know what the breaker suite is. I'm pretty sure people are playing Audrey. I do think a big thing about Seb is actually like player skill on the corp side. And I mean that like tone flag neutral. Like I don't mean to dunk on people, but I do think there's actually a high skill cap of how to play against Seb that not a lot of folks are as experienced with because there just hasn't been a lot of Seb. I do think that's going to iron out in the near future is my guess. Right? Like the short of the long is like they're playing 3 copies of Transfer of Wealth, you know, put ice on HQ immediately. And then the next thing you want to do is ice archives. Oh my god, you need ice archives. Their breaker suite is not that good. It's like Banhar. And then maybe they have 1 or 2 counters on an Audrey as long as you can't stop them recurring Gourmands, which is why you really need to put ice on archives so they can't privilege access to install 3 cards for a single click. 2 of them recurred. Like this card is so busted powerful, specifically when you're on threat 3. I try not to play this if I'm sub threat 3. You need to get an ice on HQ. You need to get an ice on archives. I do not care about R&D, and then you have to make a remote server. I think I'm feeling okay playing LEO into what's his face, into Seb, because I do think Seb's deck is really good at dealing with ice and stuff like that, but not very good at dealing with upgrades. I feel like that's always been a struggle. So just getting like a mana garm behind a big ice, they can destroy the big ice, but sometimes the upgrades actually do enough work. I don't know what other like hard tech cards you have to play. This is another big reason why I think, I played a couple games where like, oh, they have Botulus, oh, they have Audrey, oh, they have everything in the world, they have ice destruction, and then you just res a fly swatter when you're on game point and they lose the game on the spot. Like this card's so good when half of the Seb deck, if not the entirety of the Seb deck, is just all viruses and what's it called, and Banhar. It's like fly swatter in the remote server and another ice behind it. They just lose the game on the spot. It's very, very good. You have to set it up, but I do think one of the big things you can do against Seb is like make sure you're icing. I do think playing assets into Seb is very, very hard. I think the Seb deck is designed to destroy assets. If you can punish them for floating a single tag, because the Seb decks are floating a single tag with Amanuensis and Solidarity Badge, that can help you. They can just die to weird meat damage stuff. But yeah, I do think there's assets. It feels like one of the best decks against assets right now. Anyways, Ice HQ, Ice Archives in that order. Icing Archives is huge. ADT doesn't shuffle, so it's basically bacteria programming, right? Kind of. But actually knowing the top of your deck is incredibly valuable and is one of the upsides. The problem is that when you fire ADT and you see like 4 agendas, you're like, oh, this information is a curse. But then you just shuffle if you can. HR offers a potential 10 clicks of value for 3 click spend. 4 click spend, you have to install it. You shouldn't feel bad if you only get 9 clicks of value instead, but we are. Why is that? Because it's not so much, like it's one thing to get the batched like value, but it's another thing to get the flexibility. Like saying this is exactly what I want on this board state and I'm not going to do anything else, and then I have to commit to it before mass drawing cards. That is where it gets a bit more difficult, right? Like you're right, you are getting a lot of clicks for clicks, like you're getting a lot of value, but the problem is it's like, you know, it's the reason why is day job comparable to Rent Riders. I'd rather play Rent Riders because having your whole turn off is much different than having some flexibility, right? Like if Humanoid was only 2 clicks, but then you shaved off the value payoff from Humanoid, this card would be so much better, right? Like if it was 2 clicks and then you can shave every number down by 1, functionally, I haven't thought about it, but like obviously it would be a lot more playable card because you actually can install an agenda and advance it. You can actually have some flexibility there. But because it's saying it's all or nothing, it just gets clumsy. No shot you want Rent Riders instead of Day Job? Yeah, I think you do. I think you don't generally do. I think it's also easier to have the synergies. Well, I guess you have Mystic modernly. Stop the cat. No, I'm much better with Rent Riders. I like the button to be able to do this on turns and still do something. You can pre-install this, hopefully cheaply. I don't mind it. MC Austerity, rotating, save my local meta. Why? I know how to make scoring a 2-1 exciting. Install it 1 turn and don't advance it. Next turn, advance, install a new problem for them. I mean, you're not wrong. It's just like, I'm not incentivized to do that. Honest question, Andre, is Iswak good yet? Kind of love the puzzle of that ID. I don't know. I know Neon Static did an Iswak stream this Monday. I wasn't able to watch all of it. In fact, I missed most of it. I do think that they were playing with the new card, bigger, what's it called? Faceman. What's the Faceman's card called? Touch-ups? And like this card places advancement counters. If I'm not mistaken, Iswak says a card you didn't install this turn. Yeah, you did not install advance this turn, so I'm not sure. At the end of the day, like Iswak is just like very honestly gonna be an uphill fight for me because it falls into the camp of like 2 big, I don't want to say sins, but 2 things that personally for Andre make me never excited for an identity. One is that your identity fires maybe once a game, if not at all. I just hate that. If my identity fires 0 times a game, I do not want to play the identity. It is that straightforward. Even if it's the most impactful ability, but it only fires maybe once, I don't like it. And then secondly, is this the most powerful thing you can do in Jinteki Glacier, Jinteki Rush? I'm also doubtful about that. So I don't know. I think we got a couple extra tools, but I don't know honestly if like spending this much influence on touch-ups makes Isowak that much better. We've had some Isowak diehards, mind you, shout out to Wenjong, who's been like competitively playing Isowak at a high level, which has been exciting to see. But I'm pretty sure if Isowak or if Wenjong just played Ag Infusion, he'd probably have better results. Is my guess. I don't know. I've seen too many games where this does nothing. That's for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what came out in this set that really supports this. My guess is just touch-ups. I don't know if there's something else I'm missing. I guess KPI technically, but it's just like, it feels like the deck you're building is a PT and Gen deck. It's a RH deck. Jinteki Glacier is probably not bad. It's just like, I don't know if I do it in Isowak. I want an ability that does something. I managed to kill my roommate this way because he thought we were on threat 3. I NA degree mail 2 turns in a row on Monday night. Yeah, I mean, like, you can do it. I don't think it changes my emotional response to the card. Hey, music, how's it going? So funny the ideas make us think of selective bans. Banhar and Ryu only, Trickshot and Dewi only. I think if you ban Banhar and Phoenix, like, why would you play Phoenix? I feel like that's just like banning the identity. I don't know. That's the hard thing is I think people are, you know, aware of how powerful Banhar is. It feels even more powerful in the modern meta where it looks like breaking options are a bit more tricky to get by. And so Banhar gets leaned on. And then like that is the Phoenix card. Of course it is. So I don't know what you do about that. It's really hard. I've been love playing Kakarembo. We're Stoke, the Embers, and Nebula and profiting credits from it. I've heard about that combo. I haven't tried it just yet. When my opponent scores a green mail, I usually feel completely okay, and that's a problem. Yeah, Zeke, that's what I mean. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. Well, at least it does change the fact that I'm now aware that I have to start worrying about a BOAC. But that's the only difference. I'm just like, oh, that was your whole turn? Cool. And like, yeah, I don't like it. A main issue with Netrunner is the AO Talon matchups. Bill, yeah, I'm like, I think the meta, so this weekend coming up is a really big tournament. It's an online tournament that Man in the Moon is running. Let's see if we can find a link. I'll probably be doing some streaming of it or casting. I will give you more information probably tomorrow, but this is upcoming and this is going to be like the big event for the Elevation meta, the biggest event we've seen in a while. There's going to be a lot of playtest teams that have hidden decks that they're going to bring out for the event. The event has really nice, mind you, like commissioned art for this. I don't know if we can see full arts of some of these. I hope that we can. Can we? Can we? This is a strike run by Matthias Kalaza. Like, damn, really good, like Renaissance-esque art. Like that a heck of a lot. There's a Bladderwort. This is, oh, very quite nice by Martin J. Heed. Also kind of Renaissance style. Very, very cool. Aquaceresco by Lenny. This is the one with the, yeah, the sort of like furry-esque characters. This is really nice as well. Anyways, great prize support. If you want to get involved, Man in the Moon does some really, really good organization online stuff. That's this weekend. And there's going to be a lot of people coming out with really, really strong decks and things that they've been keeping secret because they've waited for the big event. And we'll start to see what the meta actually like really looks like when it settles to some extent, especially because it's a global meta and everyone can participate. Excited for that, definitely for sure. I do think like Nebula and Oko are probably the biggest targets on their back, which actually makes it hard because I think teching for Oko really hurts it. Teching for Nebula also really hurts it. I do think I'm in the camp too that we'll see the meta settle, but I do think there's a massive amount of unevenness, it seems, on power level between, I wouldn't even say factions, but specifically identities that has like kind of hit me in a weird way with Elevation's release so far. And I'm interested to see what the early results are. And then eventually we get a ban list. But yeah, it's like if you're running into JNet and you're just running to Nebula and Aoko all the time and you're not playing a tier 1 deck, I imagine you're going to have a miserable time. And I think that's the one thing that catches me off guard is that if your deck is not tuned for it or is not a competitive deck, the matchup to Nebula and Aoko is bad. It's like not fun good from my experience. It's just quite bad, quite fast. And sure, a lot of people can say it's like, it's not that bad, just play a better deck, right? Like play your tech, play your pinhole. But the thing is like, at the end of the day, that's not the majority of Netrunner players. And if people are struggling in casuals against like that sort of stuff, yeah, that might be an issue and that might be addressed sooner than later. But I do think we're going to see a lot of interesting things for this event for sure. There's going to be a lot of people playing. There'll be over 100 people. It's this weekend. Get involved if you want to. 9 credits feels like a lot in the current meta. It's a lot. I do think it might not exactly be a fermenter, but it is a lot. I'm a bit confused on why everyone seems like Day Job is like the Day Job more than Rent Riders. The clicks being split up seems really good compared to Day Job. Lockman House, that's exactly the way I see it. The fact that you can, firstly, there's ways to install the thing cheaper with like Seb, who I don't know if Seb actually plays Rent Riders or like Baz. The idea is that you can spread out the costs is huge. So that you can always like gain 9 and then run the remote server or whatever it is. Iswak did not do well in the Neon Static stream, and the core player did not look like he was having a good time. All right, I'm excited to watch that stream. Sorry, Eric. Hopefully you had a good time. There are decks which plan to do what HR does on every turn outside of scoring turns, which usually means that guaranteeing an operation is a potential problem. Yeah. Minstrel, how's it going, by the way? They plan to do what HR does on every turn outside of scoring turns. Yeah, which is like, you know, the regular HB thing of just building and pushing yourself forward. I don't think people like Day Job very much. The theme on Day Job is amazing, but not the numbers. For what it's worth, Carrie, like Day Job saw not inconsistent play. It was in weird decks though, like Anarch, Stargate, or Keyhole type decks, right? Like Day Job showed up in good decks. I don't think it showed up in a lot of reg decks. It showed up in weird things, right? Like virus decks. This is the sort of deck archetype that I started playing competitively with, but it showed up in strange places where it was like, okay, I can afford to take a turn off, right? Like this is running 3 Day Jobs. This deck just plays a lot of viruses and has this weird Chicana lock where now you make agendas cost like so many extra over advancements. This card was not unique. And then like just in good stuff like account cipher recursion, you just had Day Job and you just said, okay, this turn I'm Day Jobbing, next turn I'm coming for you. I'm dropping my breaker that breaks all ice in the game for relatively great cost at the time. And I'm just going to be recurring transfer of wealths ×3. And that's all you needed to do. Be like, I'll take a turn off now and I'll come back later. And you had those like tempo windows, which I feel like on the runner side are coming back. So I'm not too down on Rent Riders. As much as it feels bad compared to the last meta, I'm not convinced it's bad compared to this meta. But Day Job did see unironic play. I do think Rent Riders would be worse in this deck because you did float tags, as much as them trashing a Rent Riders wasn't as important. This is a Quetzal. Oh, I thought this would be a Faust deck. It's not, but I guess Faust decks didn't play Day Job. I remember this mat deck. This was like the max deck that I got into. And what I'm so happy is like the Phoenix decks that I'm playing are basically this deck reshelled. It is basically this, right? You play Lago to play Max. You can play Transfer instead of Account Siphon. You can play 2 to 3 Stargates. You have to end up playing a lot of tech for assets, which is a bit of a bummer. And then you play like a bit of recursion. But you basically build yourself like, oh, I'm going to hurt you. And that's your Phoenix deck. And I like it a heck of a lot. I do think you can play a bit of slot Ice Destruction. I'm not sure whether it's crew or whether you actually do play Charm, unironically, Charm Offensive. But it's like felt really fun. It just felt really, really fun. Smooth. I like it a lot. You just put a lot of pressure on their corp. Under wanting his ID to fire every turn is why he's not a Bangu player. To some extent, yes. But I do think Bangu is better in most identities. Ban her should be banned for everyone except Rio. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that happening. That is something I would be very surprised if it happens. I would say I put in the no shot category. But yeah, I do think, Laura, that makes more sense. To be like, nobody can play besides this ID. I'm 100% locked on my Corp deck for Summer Showdown and have 0% idea what I'm playing on Runner after going undefeated as Corp and unvictorious on Runner at the last AMT. Oh no, Lucille, hopefully it's been okay. I haven't been paying much attention to the AMT recaps. I definitely should be. There's been games going on for sure. People are figuring out the meta. Hopefully it's not been too bad. What's S up to these days? I don't know. I have no idea. I do think Phoenix is taking this sort of S spot. I do think if running gets harder and you just want to have uninteractive disruption, I think Essa is in a better spot. I think Essa did lose moshing. I think Essa also like did play Blam, which is gone too. But I do think you can probably just play Essa still. I just feel like Phoenix is just now cooler new Essa. Might not be the more powerful Essa. I think it might be though. The only problem is casual to run into Corp players. The thing is like Clockwork, there are been metas in which the disbalance between competitive players and casual players versus competitive decks and casual decks haven't been as harsh, right? Like there's certain meta decks and there's certain archetypes where like if I'm playing a tier 1 competitive deck and say someone against me is playing a casual deck, you can still have a chance, right? Like if I'm just playing good stuff PD, you can still win the game as the runner. It just feels like Nebula's, you know, I'm going to triple ice centrals and play the most boring ever Netrunner game is like just bad in general for the game. And then Alco can get really gross really fast where you're ending up like, oh, I can't deal with the bladder where it's in the hostile and there's a FUT with like 17 counters on it. So it's not so much that like the skill diff is a problem. And the cool thing with Netrunner generally in most abstract senses is like the skill diff can be beaten by just getting lucky. Right? Like it's a thing that a lot of people, you know, maybe hate to reckon with. But if I pull out System Gateway and I'm the best Corp player and I'm playing against a runner for the first game, the runner can still win the game. And to some extent that can still happen, obviously, with Nebula and Alco, but I do feel like it's a bit worse. It does not feel as fair as, or I don't know if fair is the term. If you know what I mean, you probably know what I mean. I've been seeing Essa running Begema and Chromatophores. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Build your own lane. Spent my entire time since learning. People are adding Kikai. I don't see Kikai in here. Maybe I missed something. Excuse me. What's going on? I've spent my entire time since learning the game playing Shaper and have no idea how to pilot any other faction. Oh, hey, Kikai. Strongly recommend Siphon Seb or Siphon Hoshiko. Yeah, I think I would play Siphon Seb if I had to just play something competitively. Maybe I would just play Phoenix because I enjoy it, but I do think Siphon Seb is good. And you do have a good matchup spread against at least assets for sure. I did think of building a deck that's perfectly balanced for the number of HR, one operation for every 2 installables. The deck just turns out not to be very good. Occasionally saw in prepaid Shaper. I guess he did. Maybe he did. Daily is the way. Yeah, Fixby, how's it going? Me, 90%, 5% of the time, Charm Offensive seems underwhelming, probably not worth the slot. Me, after BOAC gets trashed. Yeah, it's a sort of card too. Like, this is the worst thing about Charm Offensive. Hold on, no, that is too clickbait of an idea. The thing about Charm Offensive is kind of the same thing with a very similar idea to Reprise. Is that as a corporation player, you only experience Charm Offensive when it's very good. You never experience it when it's very bad because it doesn't get played or it gets just trashed to Banhar damage. It's the exact same thing with Reprise. Like, you lose games to Reprise so hard, you go home and you have to like think about your decisions for that last whole week. But when the Reprise doesn't fire and it's stuck in the criminal's hand for like 6 turns and they're like, I should really discard this, but then, you know, sunk cost fallacy. That's when you don't hear it. So I do think Charm Offensive is a bit better than it looks. I'll leave it at that at a minimum, but like maybe at a maximum. But like, that's the weird thing about this. When it hits, and when it doesn't hit, you just don't see it. And it's the Reprise issue as well. So just keep that in mind. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, you don't even see it coming. Like, you don't even see it get played. Arkham Horror style signature cards. Yeah, that's kind of like Marvel Champions as well, where you have a hero deck of 15 unique cards. The old max deck not having Asset Tech makes me appreciate what Mumbed did to the game, making Asset Corps a real option. I mean, that's a positive tone of it. Just put Banhar into Ryu mini faction at 5 influence. Hey, how's it going, Avatar? Cacophony and Shastushka being fired simultaneously does sound like a very fun puzzle. They don't overlap, mind you, but it is a lot of sabotage. I just don't know if you can run enough in Essa to fire Cacophony significantly. This is the sort of card that I'm really interested to see whether it sees any play this weekend. I do think it's a fine, easy 1-card slot to give you a bit more disruption, especially into acid matchups. But I'm not incredibly high on this in most situations. Hey, Tom, we missed Tuesday stream. It's my dad's, spilled coffee on me. 70th birthday. We were out of town, so we're going to make up. How's it going? We found some chairs. Like, I'll build some chairs, but we got a whole bunch of chairs. Just my parents' neighbor left them out on the lawn. We're like, wait, these are good chairs. And they're like, yeah, you can have them. And we had to take them apart. Have to rebuild a whole bunch of chairs so they fit in the car. Pat, you're going to have a nice chair on Thursday. Pat will be here on Thursday tomorrow. Yo, Wenjong, I have a random casual JNet game against Koga. Peach Shot Illumination Umbrella Conduit against my 7 agenda Iswak that happens to have a Vampy on R&D. Oh my god. What fun it was. Wenjong, you're the one who can answer. What's Iswak like in the modern meta? How much has it changed? Peach Shot Illumination Umbrella. Illumination's fun. If it fires, it's disgusting. The only AO game that isn't miserable is when I'm the corp. It's like, it's frustrating too, because like Oko's really fun to play. And that's because Oko gives you so many decisions. Like when Oko fires before your mandatory draw and you've like first fired your, your cohort guidance, and then you're looking at 3 cards and you're planning your next turn. Like Oko gives you the sort of decisions that I want your identity to give you. This is fun. Like it is genuinely fun to play the Oko deck. I don't think it's that fun to play against it unless you're really tech for it, and then you can kind of lean on them. I've seen some interesting games, but yeah, this thing seems very powerful. But it is really fun to play as. Like I'll say that for sure. Charm Offensive is wicked with Sabo. It's what people forget. Yeah, the thing is like that's the slots issue by Strong. It's like the decks that want to play it are on Sabotage or Banhar, and like they're not very good at keeping their cards in hand. So I do think people are like soft on the ideas. Like this is a card that will be very good in the situation where I get Sabotage, I can run Archives, which sometimes they ice up Archives against Sabotage. And then there's a Rezzed Ice, which I'm not very good at running. So there's a lot of weird things. It doesn't have to trash Ice, but I feel like you want it to trash Ice. But yeah, it's just like the card that will get hit by Banhar, right? Very, very weird. The Reprise effect is quintessentially represented by Kraken. I was thinking about this card the other day. Kraken was very bad. Was it 3 cost? Yeah, 3 cost neutral. Play if you only stole an agenda, choose a server, the corp picks an ice and trashes it. It doesn't have to be rezzed. This card was quite bad, but there were not a lot of neutral cards in the game. This might have been like, was this the first? No, it wasn't the first after core set neutral event. Probably not. I don't know what else that would be. Charm Offensive is blank. Yeah, it's totally blank against Empire. That's true. Term Offensive seems awesome, and Sabo deck's just one of, but that's enough to have a massive impact trashing a Bron. If it hits, yes. And I do think I've been playing a lot of decks that are very trashy that have a 1 of Charm Offensive as a minimum. I want to try more. I'm also playing like multiple Stargates, and like Stargate has a nice way to give you control over it as well, which is quite good. So I do think Sabotage is an option. I do think the thing with like cards like Biowack, it's like very perfectly the card that you will discard, because once you have a 2 Biowax rezzed, you generally don't res the third one, so you end up throwing it out naturally. So there is something to that for sure. I don't know. I couldn't tell. C is absolutely worse than Pinhole most of the time, but it's an Anarch card. Charm Offensive to res Plutus I couldn't touch felt good. Yeah, I mean, it's Pinhole. And like Pinhole doesn't see that much play in Essa decks for the same reason. Touch Up is just an extra seamlessness, so Sericulture. Both in theory should benefit Iswag, but I don't think making it can be fast enough to rush better than PT, or Glacier better than RH. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing, Wenjong. Hey, Meteor, hello. How's it going? Andre said your name earlier and I asked about it, so I kind of love the idea. What's your current tech for the deck with new elevation cards? Someone tried to try my Plutus on Jaina the other day, so I spun out my copy in the bin. Felt good. Oh, I've not done that yet, where you have to protect your agendas to it. That'll be really good. Yeah. Spin Dock, good against Charm Offensive. All right. Let's get into it. We'll play some Plutus. I'm going to start here with the fast advanced version. I do think there's a chance Anthill doesn't make sense. I'm going to play this by just changing a small bit of ice around this. I think we're going to play another barrier. We're going to move the code gates around. I'm going to play this version for a couple games, and then from there, we're going to make some changes. We're going to try the Modernism Zwicky Group deck and just go a bit faster. This is all about fast advance with Plutus, Moon, Pool, Anthill, and we have a bunch of options like Slash and Burn. So far, this has been fun. I don't think it's the best thing you can do in the meta, but it can go quick. And it is very much unrefined. I don't get the Valenchow. It's cheap. It's not bad. You res it for 5 credits. Ideally, this is the card that you can get with an Eminent if you already have your Biowax on the table or you need to spread out your threats. High strength code gates are really hard to deal with in the modern meta. I do think you're probably not going to play any Valenchows. Maybe we play one Valenchow, but it's not terrible. You functionally res this for 3 credits, and a 6 strength code gate you res for 3 credits is pretty good because you get the 2 credits back. It's not awful. I do think you want to play maybe Government Subsidy if you really want to lean on the Valenchow and actually have that credit differential, because we're not actually that rich on credits, but I don't think you should be running 2 Valenchow. Pivot any good? I don't know what you pivot for. Like, the thing with pivot is you need to have a target that's like nearly game winning, and we don't, because you can't really pivot fast advance. Pivoting the 1 measured response, maybe there's something there, but if that's the case, we should probably just run the 2nd measured response. It's just pivot doesn't do that much. We have no ways to fast advance by pivoting for an agenda, I don't think. Trying to make core damage LEO work and it keeps letting me down. It feels like a Carl and Hendrix should get you there. That's the sort of Lockmanos. That's the sort of deck that Kate was playing, that Zen was playing at the last backroom deals, and I'm assuming on the weekend. And I'm actually kind of into it. Admittedly, it's like step 1 score salvo testing, which like that's kind of hard. But once you score salvo testing, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't just nano management out the ontological and just saying, okay, the game's cooked now. Like, that's all I want to do, score salvo testing, and then I'll score everything from hand. Just kind of like big deal, like PD. At the end of the day, though, like that's probably better than PD than LEO is my guess. But the difference is you can play, of course, you can play Hakarl, which is probably not the worst, and then you can play Boomy as well. Montreal Contype, Maddie, how's it going? Montreal Contype for sure. How's your day been, love? All right, I think I already have this in. We're gonna make some small changes, I think. All right, small changes we're gonna do. We're going to cut a Valenchow. I'm gonna put in 1 Logjam, which we can grab in the late game if we want, or have in the late game. I think we could consider playing. I'm gonna try a Fly Swatter. I like Fly Swatter a lot. It's fine. It's not that much different than Afshar, besides on HQ, then it's very different, but the free purge is pretty good. I will just try that. Step 1 score salvo is a crazy step 1. Derek, it's not that bad. There's been a lot of decks where I've done that. People have done that. It's like worse than it sounds, but it's also better than it sounds. And like seamless launch context. It's not as bad as it sounds. Any consideration for Shylendra? You could consider it. I think I'd rather consider Shylendra if I have a deck that cares about the cards in hand. The way that I see it, I think my opponent can just face tank it on centrals. We don't want it on the remote server, and so it just becomes an annoying tax. So I don't love it, right? Like the idea is like if Moosely Hot wants to run R&D into a Shylendra, she'll just run R&D into a Shylendra, and I can't stop that, and that feels kind of bad. It's good if you care and you're playing Modernism where you actually care about credits and cards, but I feel like not my most important. Hey, thanks, you too. Make Shadowlander an ID, you cowards. It would be very, very bad. You'd just be fast advancing out everything from hand. You've been playing all the 2-1s. Maskarovka is busted good. If we res one of these into the early game into Muesli Hot, we kind of win the game on the spot. Exaggeration. I don't like the rest of this hand, so we're probably going to mulligan. This is the sort of hand where you can just like ice up HQ, then next turn we'll score green mail. We can do like petty cash ice HQ. I just don't want to hold 3 agendas. That's better. Shylander doesn't do anything, does it? No, it's just annoying. And then runners who don't value touching cards like respect it. But I do think you should just run through it most of the time. Okay, so don't get transferred. Yeah, you do have more text if you're advancing other cards on Shadowlander. There's something to that, but like this deck has 1 advanceable ice, if I'm not mistaken. I like Valenshao and Nuvum way more than Zwicky. Yeah, I could see that. Logjam without upgrade is a bit awkward. It's not the best. It's just more so you want a barrier with 3 subroutines on it. Like you could actually play Envelopment, and no joke is probably comparable. You just res it slightly cheaper usually on face check. Okay, we don't want to get diversioned. So here we probably want to play an Operation. So that makes us play red level clearance to gain 2 credits. So we'll start there. We'll draw a card. Okay, so we actually want to protect Spin Doctors. I think pressuring Spin Doctors is really important for your opponent. Draw 2 cards. I think we're just going to gain a click. This is going to be an awkward start. I'm going to put the Spin Doctor on the table and see if they run it. They definitely should run this. The problem is they probably don't when we just have this in the bin. We want to set up next turn's Operation, but I think next turn our Operation will probably be score out of green mail. So we're going to ice up HQ, as we should. And then either here we can play the hedge fund or install the anthill on the table and see if they'll check it. I think we'd rather have the anthill on the table, but next turn we're probably going to score the green mail. I feel like I want to keep the hedge fund, but if they force us to res a fly swatter, I'll just play the hedge fund here. Like a lot of times you want to keep 1 Operation a turn because it's Zwicky. So we'll see. BTL stuff with NAPD, Coordinate, Ferris, and tree lines. Yeah, I think Shylander makes sense in BTL. Okay. Whiffed. Clean getaway. We're not going to shuffle. Double icing centrals is really, really good against criminal. That is like the good opening. We're going back. Okay. It's still 2 points. There's a lot of agendas in the deck. Not a lot of trashables too, like a reasonable amount of trashables. Just running archives, okay. Debbie being 3 credits in turn 1 is so goofy. They know the top of the deck too, which is kind of nice. And now HQ is kind of cooked. Okay, so we have a petty cash on the top. We can just score a green mail and see if they respect a BOAC. That is an option. We can petty cash the green mail, which doesn't do anything. This is why like you have to deal with the Spin Doctors. We would have scored out off the books from hand. Or sorry, we can slash and burn a green mail. I think we're just going to score the green mail out here and pass. And then we'll just discard the petty cash. I'd rather play it from the bin usually. Oh, wow. Look at my turn. Look how much we've done. Oh, wow. So fun. Sorry. It's a consideration kill decks as well. They whiffed twice. I haven't played Muesli Hot 1 game so far since the set's come out. And I don't know if what it'll take me to play Muesli Hot. It's definitely good, but it's another identity where it's like, I don't think you make a lot of decisions. You just draw cards. I don't know. It's not for me. Debbie's good. She's fun to play. I mean, probably as fun to play as Ken is fun to play. At least Ken I have to plan my turn out a bit. Swift, no run event. Okay. Top deck and agenda. Top deck at above law. Okay, Moonpool, not super useful. So we can petty dash to draw a card, which is totally fine. Otherwise, you can red level clearance clicklessly to draw cards. And if we get an agenda, we can do something. But I'll keep the red level clearance for the Moonpool. So we'll just petty cash. You want to keep your petty cashes in the bin because of Plutus, but we need to find ice. Okay, that goes on HQ, I think. I don't love keeping R&D open because of all the run events. They've played 1 buy-it, 2 clean getaways. So we need a double ice HQ, I think. But we need ice R&D. With Debbie, they can check assets, no problem. I think we have to do double Spin Doctor. Do we shuffle these cards back? I don't think we do because we have a Plutus. Ugh. Hey, David, I've been playing a lot of Miss T since release, and you're right. She's just a card draw. It's just card draw. It's like totally fine. I don't know why I'd be excited to do it. All right, I think we just need to keep them busy. I'm going to put Winchester on HQ. R&D is wide open. We have a lot of agendas in there, but apparently we haven't been drawing ice. A Maskarovka would be huge. I think we can just put an anthill on the table and then throw out a petty cash. I'll check this with Debbie for sure. I love Ken. She's so much better than Ken. I have no doubt she's better. I just like with Ken planning my turn a bit more. Yeah, we've drawn every turn with Zwicky. It's felt good. It just kind of feels fun. Transfer? Oh, they have a transfer. Okay. So we could shuffle back with Spin Doctor here. I'm not that interested in doing it, so the density is a bit higher. Value is exciting says a fully op. Yeah, but you set up the fully op. You make decisions while playing the fully op. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'd just rather play any of the other red crims. As someone who's complained about criminal card draw, I can't believe it's come to that. Docklands, okay. Glad we got the Winchester here. Yep, Debbie for the Antil. We're going to lose that, but we're just keeping their clicks busy. We can always shuffle with the Spin Doctor to get an unknown card on the top of the deck. We don't have a huge reason. They could also pressure this to force us to shuffle. Are there enough events to balance out a lack of resources to play Moosely Hot? I think the deck is not a problem. Like, you can definitely build a deck that has, like, I would say more than 60% hits. Sometimes you run 2 of each breaker. I'm not sure. But it's not so much that I don't think the deck is good. It's just like, I don't know. I don't think it's as interesting as some of the other criminals that force you to do something. I'm looking forward to learning what my runner card opinions are. Yeah, Jeff, we got to record that thing. I was out this weekend, so it's kind of on me, but I'm getting questions asked like, when's part 2? I'm like, we haven't recorded it yet. Checking archives. Okay, this is just an honesty check for the Spin Doctor. It's more important, I think, to run the Spin Doctor. They get the flip, which is worth something. But we would have to trash this if they ran this. They threw out a Cat's Cradle and transfer. Okay, so they have 2 of each breakers. There's not enough ice in the deck. There's like 14 ice, maybe 15. And you have a card draw with Zwicky's. We're just not drawing well. Yeah, we just haven't been drawing well. Like this. All right, I'll petty cash. I don't care. Sick. So now we can just kill Debbie because they did not threaten the Spin Doctor. So we will. This is why you run the Spin Doctor. It's so important in this matchup. RD's still open, I guess. We're playing 14 agendas. They have a window. Okay. Their money is now really bad that we shot Debbie with the laser. Spindo's kill on sight these days. I wouldn't go that far. Against Wayland, we're expecting fast events. It's near the kill on sight. I've been playing Anacom with Miss T, and yeah, lots of draws, just good. I don't know if I played Amacom sooner than play Swift, because it's influence, and you're mostly playing run events. I've definitely seen it. Bravado into the Winchester. Oh, that's really bad for them. This is like the huge blowout here. Because every single subroutine fires and matters. This is super rough. This thing we got blown out the other day too. This is the ice that you most expect to be on HQ out of any ice in the game, unfortunately. So this is Trash 4, Trash a Program. That's their last Cat's Cradle, probably. They might still have Recursion, like Katurga Breakout sees play. I don't think they're on Scrounge. This is Trash a Hardware, Trash the Console. That's fine. And then we'll just end the run for 3 credits. They get money back, but I feel like their board stay was pretty good. Yeah, their bike crashed out there. Hard into the little scorpion thing. Stop providing HQ against Wayland. I mean, it's not that bad. So here we can decide whether we want to shuffle back first. I'm not going to. If they spend a click running archives, we're happy. Nice. No punished. Yeah, so now we can shuffle back. We have to. So I'll put back the Spin Doctor and the Slash, I think. We want to keep these in the bin because eventually maybe we'll play Plutus. Just kidding. Probably not, but maybe. And now we're drawing an unknown card. So the ordering there if it's in a different order. When you run Criminal, do you always play Masterwork, Cube, Chesva? Me? No, I like Red Crim. I only play Masterwork. You definitely play Chesva every time you're playing regular Crim by a mile, especially in the modern meta. But I wouldn't say that you have to play the other ones. Okay, I think we're just gonna do a setup turn. I want to get an ice on R&D. I love just like what's it called here? Oh, Biowak is really mean into window. Okay. We could do Biowak Eminent, leave R&D open. We also just do Plutus into Biowak. That's also fine too, and just leave R&D open. I think I'm okay with that. We can score the Eminent from there. This is weaker to Pinhole. Chesva is just one of the best cards in the meta right now, and having a 2-credit recurring card in the what economy looks like on the runner side is just messed up good. Masterwork, you only play if you're playing the hardware package. This is why I play Biowak. Because it has 3 subs. Notably here, if we forfeit the agenda, we actually draw a card. Which I think we're okay with. They have 4 credits. Biowak remote with Plutus? Yes, they're not on Hermes, yeah, for sure. I will forfeit. What do I click on? This? This fires, we draw the Biowak, and this has 3 subroutines. They're all gonna end the run. Oh, sorry. Went to firing. Do you want to break? Yeah, they can break first. If they don't break, they lose their boomerang. Sorry, they don't lose their boomerang. No matter what, we just have to end the run 3 times. Okay, cool. Fire out makes sense. So now we can res the Plutus. I will res the Plutus by discarding my hand, I'm pretty sure. I'll just discard the KPI, the Afshar. They're windowing back. Oh yeah, power to them. They can do that. Of course, we should have seen that coming. We knew they had this. That's really funny. Oh, they installed the simul chip, so now they don't have money. No, they're a credit short on the last click. Oh no, that's so bad for them. No. Oh no. Chess says I want to win the Nebula matchup card on top of just being good. Yeah. I wouldn't even consider it a tech card, but it is very good into Nebula. It's just you need to be playing it. I'm gonna splash Tyson on Wayland, so Andre no longer says it's fine to randomly bravado HQ. We'll re-res that. That is total rip. They had to install this. And this is a hard card to play. Like, I don't know why Simulchip sees play over like some of the other options, because trashing a program is really hard and criminal. Like, there's only certain turns that you can Simulchip. So I think we will res the Plutus here, discarding cards. So we will reveal and trash. We'll get rid of 1, 2, 3. And now with the Plutus in the bin, we can play an operation at the start of our turn. Hopefully they don't pinhole this. So we want to score the Eminent, which I think we do. We play red level clearance to get a click. So we'll gain a click. We will draw a card if we get 2 credits, which I think we're fine. Then we mandatory. Oh, we drew a BOAC. That sucks. So now we have 3 clicks. So we go 1, 1, 2, 3. So here I think we're going to install a BOAC on R&D. A Valenshell on R&D would actually be reasonable here. The Valenshell is a lot weaker to everything else. Eventually we'll get Ice and Archives to play around Pinhole. Scrounge is like tailor-made for Red Crim. Yes, or you can play Katurga, which is like a run event with Moosely Hot, so you don't keep whiffing. That's their, I think, their 4th whiff, unfortunately. They made 7 Netrunner faction play this on YouTube. What are they, Vert Mouse? Pinhole here is like not game losing. We can't do anything with the Plutus besides gain 4 credits and draw a card, which is pretty good. As much as NSG doesn't like remove from game, I've played Zwicky games that remove an absurd amount of cards from the game. So we'll just hedge fund here. We could go a bit faster if we do RLC. Okay, wow. So here we can off the book slash and burn and just give them 2 points, which I don't think we want to do. So we'll set this up to play the RLC next turn. So I think we've already Zwickied, so we'll just draw once. Oh, this is such a cool play for next turn. It's going to be a bad use of resources, but you can off the book slash slash, and then, okay, we're going to respect, what's it called? We're going to respect maintenance access. You can off the book slash slash, and then go get back a Spin Doctor. We're going to do something really silly here. Yeah, we just want to not lose the Pinhole, let alone now they have to play run events, and this locks them out. This snowballs really, really poorly for them. Okay, this is not the play, but this is a fun play. So start a turn. We're going to do the red level clearance. We're going to gain a click, and we're going to gain 2 credits so we can draw a card. Sure. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to install the off the books. This is a bad play, mind you. We don't need to expend this many resources. We're slash and burn here. This is a bad play. We're still going to do it. We're going to expend. We're going to expend. And we can advance this once more. We'll score it. Now this has 2 counters at end of turn. We'll search R&D for a card and we'll go get a Spin Doctor. You don't need to do Plutus for this. It gives us another counter, which is kind of cool. But this is a way that you can slash and burn with no risk, and it's really fun. Oh, not like that. Oops. If they pinhole the Spin Doctor and the Spin Doctor disappears, the run disappears, right? But the fact that this installs is sick, because now these are safe. Is it not better to just Moonpool that? Yeah, it might be, but this is more fun. It's a bit cheaper too, but it's more fun. This also makes it harder to get to the agendas because they have to run archives then run R&D, which like now if they're playing Estebrado, it's a bit more work for them. How's it going, Ba? The Moonpool is more straightforward. I just want to show this line that you can do. From here, we win not next turn unless we top deck something well. Yeah, there's a fun aspect to this. Like, without Plutus, you can just do double off the books slash and burn. Sorry, off the books double slash to get a Spin Doctor, and it's just like a fun line to know is there. Oh, they're in Prague. Yeah, it's a very pretty flip. And we still have an off the books counter, which we can use to go grab a measured response if we're really gross. Okay, so we can res the Spin Doctor. We want to find a 3-2. Unfortunately, we only have one more 3-2, so we're going to have to do a bit of work here. No. Okay. Do we Plutus something? I think we'll just Plutus the... We can consider shuffling the slashes back, but I think we're just going to score the green mail here. So I'm going to do... We have no ice installed with KPI, so I think we'll just do hedge fund for 4 cards on a draw. Okay, now we do. All right, so they lose next turn. We'll throw out the KPI. We'll throw out the petty cash. Search R&D for a card. In theory, we could put an agenda in server 6. I just don't think we need to. Oh, we can also just add it to hand. Yeah, we'll just add it to hand. So we'll add green mail to hand. And this beats hand size, which is good. So you play a 6-hand corp, which is really hard for them to do it. You can tutor your last 3 too this turn, yeah. Or we'll just keep this in hand, which is a bit more robust or resilient. Zwicky Gaming. Saren, how's it going? Kind of wish installing a new remote was the upper option on the menu because I think it could be considered the default one. Yeah, maybe. That might be true. They're playing a lot of hardware for Moosely Hot. I honestly don't know how much Moosely Hot is fired in this game. Stream is going well, thank you. Yeah, we missed yesterday, so we're back. All right, Mystic. We're just gonna score it from here. Play, sure. Gain 2, draw a card, install a piece of ice from HQ, put the Winchester on server 6, and then we will just do whatever we want. Well, we'll just score this out. Oh, we could have petty cash. There's a lot of options we could have done there. But we'll just do this one. Take a game. Green mail doesn't feel good. Wins with green mail. It doesn't feel good. I don't think it feels good. It feels like whatever. Thanks for the game. Having that 1 credit spend on the simul chip. Oof. No. Yeah. I saw the window coming and still would have gotten blown out by it. Maybe this is supposed to be a Baz deck? Yeah, kind of looks like a Baz deck. I think it has enough tricks to be a Baz deck. I don't know what else we saw. Did we see a no free lunch? No, we didn't. But like, Chiz was good. Yeah, I don't think they have any more code breakers. They just stopped running for the last like 4 turns, which is a bit rough. Thanks for the game. Oh, maybe. Yeah, the Winchester res, the Winchester face check. It's just rough. It's hard. Yeah, that thing hits real hard. Criminal hardware that de-reses anything if the corp has too much money is good, because they usually do. If you're talking about the resource, what's her name? Francophia Ward. I don't think it's good. I don't think corps really have more than 15 crowds most of the time. If you're talking about the one that runs HQ that de-reses, I think that card is pretty good. I like that a lot. Hey, cheers. Thanks for the game. That's the Mag Electric. I'm still not over the fan movie Green Mail. Oh, it was really, really good. I like it a lot. Yeah, that's Mag Electric. Mag Electric I like a lot. It doesn't care about how much money they have, though. It just says run HQ when it's successful, de-res something. And I like that card a lot. It sometimes has a slots issue and reg stuff, so I feel like you have to build into it a bit more, but it feels good. Very, very good into BOX, that's for sure. Hey, Duckland. Trading 5 credits for no bad pub is honestly super fine. I'm not going to argue about it being super fun or not. I'm just saying it doesn't feel good. All right, so opening hand against Sable. We have no money in our hand, but we have 2 ice for centrals, which is really good into Sable. Giving Sable a Valenchow, bad pub might kind of stink on turn 1. I think I'm going to keep this hand and hope that we draw an operation. I just think like putting ice on the table is pretty fine early. Descent for R&D, Maskarovka for HQ. If this gets res and gives us our 2 credits back, we're generally in such a good spot. I think it's really, really hard to deal with this thing with Kurapira. It's very, very expensive. If this is a triple deep dive deck, we're honestly don't lose to it as hard as some other ones because we don't actually play any 3-pointers. Ooh, thanks you too. Hey, Spencer. I thought a great pun during an insomnia about this morning, but Andre grew his facial hair out again. That's irrelevant. Spencer, I'm down to hear it regardless. I'm always, well, I'm not actually always in for a pun, but like, I'll hear it. No trigger this turn with Zwicky is like kind of sus. Rude Andre's Nightmare Wordplay. I mean, like, it just happens. The entropy of time. Okay, this is a deep dive list. They're playing Blueberry Diesel. Yeah, if she's on this, she's probably deep diving. Record this time we draw on the ice. We have a fair bit of ice, but not too much ice. We only have 13 ice, actually. It's not that high. I think having 14 or 15 is where you want to be to always like, or to consistently have a double ice play on turn 1. Even consistently might be a bit of a a stretch there. But the idea is with Zwicky firing every turn, you draw a bit more aggressively. Classic Mystic. Okay, so if it's Mystic, it might only be double deep dive. This might be Diogen's list. Okay. We want to have a hedge fund here. I mean, face checking is really good because if we can res ice, we can't really res the anthill. How does Blue's Diesel tell you it's deep dive? So Blueberry Diesel is just a bit of a low quality card overall. Most people think. And if it's a low quality card, a lot of times that means because they're not playing Nuka or they're not playing, heaven forbid, well, Steel Skin sometimes, but even the other one, what's it called? The new one, the new Diesel, Ritual. So a lot of times when you're restricted by how you spend your influence and your deck is about finding the right pieces, you're more likely to play Blueberry Diesel. It's just not a very common card. I'm not going to res this. I don't care. What if instead of deep dive, it's just knives? Yeah, it could be actually. So far, we've only seen like 4 cards, so it's hard to tell. But yeah, Diesel means generally they're some sort of combo deck. Early Crew Appear is good. Fly Swatter will res. That also means they maxed out on a Lilo, which is better. Yeah, I'm assuming that means she's on 3 Lilo as well. All right, we get our Anthill, which is sick. All right, red level, she saw. So I'm going to put a second ice on Ace Q. We could get an ice on Archives here. I do think trashing the Boomerang is okay. It's not the most important thing. We can res this later if we want to. We don't have a setup here. If we want a red level clearance, we can. And that will just give us a card draw. It actually might make sense to double ice the remote server. I'm worried about Pinhole though. So I think I'm going to ice Archives, ice HQ. If that's the case, we wear all RLC. We'll gain 2, which draws a card. That's nice. We'll just gain a click. That's the same as installing a card. So Code Gate's good on HQ. Well, like Winchester's really good. Yeah, hopefully we don't get pinholed. I was playing Blueberry Diesel, but the Mystic tech is nice. Yeah, Mystic's good. Something you used to be able to say about Andre's face, or Shaper AI, Breaker from Borealis, it's a bear, but only for now. Not accepting criticism. Yeah, all right, okay. No criticism necessary. All right, at this point, we'll get rid of the Boomerang. It might actually be wrong. We might want to just destroy this. This should be an agenda here for sure, right? Right? Okay. So we're breaking lock again. If we draw too many agendas, we can moonpool above the law. Trashing the Mystic is probably more impactful than trashing a class act, because she'll probably install the second and third one if her money's okay. But we needed, like, in theory against deep dive, you don't actually want to ice like this. You just want to put 3 ice on one server. Hermes. Yeah, probably still a deep dive. Oh, actually, no, probably not deep dive anymore. I'm assuming you're on Swift if you're playing deep dive. This might just be like Reg Sable. We'll do Anthill first before we decide. Add Descent. She knows we have one of these. Add Descent, protecting R&D at position 0. No. That's good. This thing is really, really expensive. We don't have any big barriers, though, so it's not like she can break the cheap stuff and then get through the big stuff. At this point, I think we could actually put the Moonpool in the remote server and hope that we draw well. If we draw one more agenda, we can square out the above the law. We haven't had a Zwicky trigger here, which is a bummer. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Wrong card. All good. She knows we have 2 installables. This is a pretty normal Plutus list. First Frontiers, how's it going? I don't know if I would call it normal because I just don't know what the normal is. In the meta, it's a bit too early, but it's just a fast advance Plutus list with no real frills. It is not particularly optimized, but I'm having a fun time jamming it in casual spaces. Doubt is the best thing you can do. I guess I'll res this. It's on the mark, so it has a bit more value. She loses 2 credits into it. And then she loses a credit because of the bravado. So we have to top deck a hedge fund here. Oh, I hate that we installed this. This sucks. We're not firing Plutus. Where's the transactions? The cheap stuff, 4 credit break. Yeah, but it's more so I'm trying to say, like, it's not like we have, you know, small barriers like ice walls and then big barriers. It's only just Maskarovkas and a logjam. So, like, if she breaks 3 Maskarovkas to bypass a Maskarovka, we're okay. Does the 1x measured actually matter? It's a jump scare. If they see it, they trash it. But you can just win games because people don't play around it. It's, like, not a great idea. Okay, we'll play this. So I think we'll start with the 2 to draw a card. So we have a slash and burn above the law. That doesn't work with Moonpool, but we can score the above the law next turn. HQ is soft to Hermes. And I think here we want to install a piece of ice. Remote BOEC is fine. Remote Valen Chow is also fine. In theory here, we should not put the moon pool. We would put the anthill in, which is more important for us. Yeah, we can moon pool out next turn. So we installed above the law. If we slash and burn, we don't. I should get it. I don't want to put a slash and burn in archives unless we have a spin doctor. I have 1x Urtica in my Swag deck for the same reason. Yeah. Yeah, that's fun in open deck list as well. Masquerova's 4 to break seems pretty great, but the 2 Chesva get installed and the server looks soft as hell. I mean, if still breaking for 2 on a barrier is kind of okay, I think. You're right though, like we'd rather have on the remote server, but like this server is still expensive to break. If it's a Carmen, it's like 5 plus 4, it's a 9 credit break. Chesva with 7, right? Like it's still really good. Where are we going? Nice. Carpe Diem, get the money, face check. Okay, always interesting. I'm happy that we get our ice resed here. So the first one is Trace 4. So she can boost into this, otherwise she loses a program. Losing a Kura here would be pretty bad. Now she has the Chesla, so we can't really force the issue. So I think we're just going to do 4-3-3. I'm assuming she can't get through everything, and she'll probably protect the first and second. You can always boost a bit into this. We have a money issue. I'd love to have the anthill. So she paid 4. Okay. So then this is 3-3. So she can pay all her money to get through it. If we pay 1 credit here, she can't get through. So we could either boost this one or the next one. Because this is Trace 3. She has no link. So she goes to 3. She's on 3. I'm going to make her spend 4 on this if she wants to keep her Hermes. We have bottomed out financially. We're in a really bad spot. This is where drawing a green mail would be kind of sick. As much as Hermes, it'll suck. All right. Oh, she didn't boost. Sick. So she's getting an access instead. We'll get rid of... Oh, we can't res the Masquerovka. That's okay. We also can't res the moon pool to dive into this. I wonder if she wouldn't have boosted if we didn't. Here it's like, still, it's expensive enough access. So she paid 3. Okay, that's fine. So 40% chance that she steals something. At least there's no Hermes. Plutus, okay. If she trashes that, we're happy. Mystic also. Oh, that's really good for us. Okay, 1 credit. So we have a window here. Unfortunately, we don't have money. I'm not going to return that. Remember we played Zwicky Group to play all your cool operations? Maybe we should be confident enough to draw here that we can do it. I think we might just click for 3. If we put Anthill on the table, we're blown out by clean getaway 2 or 3. That's the second Hermes, which is good. I doubt she's running 3 copies. So that's going to help us a lot. If we top deck a green mail there, I would feel okay about us. We can also like go ahead and discard an agenda and then have the moon pool set up a bit more aggressively. I think I might just click for 3, which like does not make this deck look good. We can't res this. Green mail would make this a bit scary. You need GM the Anthill. Yeah, I think you might be right that actually getting rid of the moon pool and putting the Anthill on top is a bit better. I feel like I'm playing sunk cost here, but I think we need to push ourselves. She's on 3 Hermes. Okay, that might make sense. Yeah, Rahit, I agree. I do like that a bit better. Okay, that's good. I honestly might put the Spin Doctor on top of the moon pool. I don't know if she'll run the Spin Doctor. She needs to. Spin Doctor to find a hedge fund would be pretty stellar. But it might be right to put the Spin Doctor in server 1 so we can slash and burn. I'm going to do it. I don't think we use 2 moon pools. Okay, this is good. So we'll gain 2 credits to draw a card, I guess. Okay, so we can install an ice. So installing the 3rd ice is a bit, again, suspect when you're playing against Hermes. And then I think we'll just hedge fund here. Next turn we'll probably be scoring out. Okay. Netrunners love to correct a tiny improvement in a line. It's a pretty big improvement. Like that's actually a really important thing because if we have an extra card and credit and put a problem down for our opponent. KB has a workhorse for flood control. Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't love shuffling cards back. Draw card shuffle back might have been reasonable. But it is like, that's actually a pretty legitimate improvement on the line. And it's more so also not to correct Andre, but also so we can talk about it in chat. I'd be like, yeah, I think that's a better line and why. Like, I don't mind it. Ooh, Estebrado. That's sick. Okay, so we're not on threat, so this is going to get past 1 ice, so I think we're actually incentivized to res this. That's good pressure after we've drawn this many cards. As much as there could be an agenda there. I guess we're giving a bad publicity to That's not good. She needs to jack out here. Right? Right? Yeah, thought so. No worries. No stress. So trading Debrado for Valenciao at publicity is probably pretty reasonable. Looks like she's, yeah, when you do that, probably means your hand is just getting a bit ugly here. I have no doubt she has a reprise somewhere waiting. A descent back now. Okay. So here we can do above the law slash and burn. Again, our antil is like really dying in our hand. I wonder if we should just play more transactions instead of this antil. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll get rid of the Mystic. That's a lot of money. And whatever gets bounced, I don't think we're too upset. I like a similar list. I have a Nuvum because I just like broke. I really don't enjoy Nuvum. So Hermes, you don't want to bounce the Maskarovka because it's boomerang, so probably will be the Maskarovka there, yeah. I just can't believe we've been whiffing this much on the Zwicky trigger. Our opponent needs to find breakers and gamble? Yeah. Yeah, she just needs to find raw money. Losing the Mystic is pretty bad for that. Looks like she might just gamble here. Double Cheslo, that's actually quite frightening. We're on the clock. Top deck economy. Not like that. Oh, not like that. I do think we'll put the Antil in here. Oh, I hate this so much. Firing your ID like twice a game, you say? I don't know why it's been like this. We fired it twice. We did hedge fund, so we doubled down. We fired it 3 times so far. It's 9 turns, which is not a good thing for us. Okay, I think we're going to shuffle Spin Doctor back. We're going to put the Antil in here. We're going to put an ice here and then click for a credit. If any ices gets rezzed, we don't have the Antil, which we need. Yo, Alec, how's it going? Flash goes back. I feel like we're not on a Plutus line here, but hedge fund can go back or KPI can go back. I think we have a bit of flexibility with KPI into Hermes, which I like. And then we'll just do 1, 2, 3. We can't res any ice and res the Antil, so we're hoping for the best here. I have a last altar to Vancouver Mega City show off if you don't mind between games. Yeah, let me open that. Is it from same artist? Mutual Favor, Hard Casting Cat's Cradle. R&D is now soft. Broken for free, not making the run here. We get the Antil. Antil, stop drawing these. Okay, so we can get 2 more points with Slash and Burn. The Celeste art is, oh, it's from Amora. Whoa, that's really cool. Wait, why did I add the Descent to hand? I had no intention of adding. I don't know why we added that. We have no intention of doing that. Yeah. I obviously misclicked. If she rates undo turn, we're back in it. Okay. So Antil, Descent, no. That goes. Okay, cool. Thanks. All right, so if she face checks into a BOAC, it's bad, but we can't really afford it. I think we can put a Spin Doctor on the table. She has to pressure it, and she has no hard money to do this, so I'm okay just putting this on the table. Hopefully we draw into a cheap operation. Yeah, that's fine. We have a setup now to do off the book slash and burn. So I think we're going to gain 2 credits and draw a card. Okay, flooding. How many BOACs do we have left? 1 on the table, 1 in our hand. So we want to eminent the BOAC, I'm pretty sure. So here we can gain a click, which is fine. So we can put the Antil on the table. We'll have more cards in hand next turn, so we'll probably do the Moonpool. So I think we just install the Antil, throw out the BOAC credit. Don't look at our hand. I don't run Moonpool in my fast events, Zwicky. Plutus's and Antils see more than enough installables. It's kind of nice. Okay, cool. So I think she's reading here that there is agendas and archives, and you can't Spin Doctor this. Or sorry, you can't clean get it away with the Spin Doctor. A more art and Netrunner? Yeah. West Coast. Carmen's down? Okay, another good reason to run archives. We'll see where the run goes here. It's still really expensive. No, she does have bad publicity, so she's running the Antil. Oh yeah, she has bad pub, so this goes down for free. Forgot about that for sure. Slush, my favorite game of all time. It's my top 5. Slush is fantastic. All right, so Spin Doctor stays, which is good for us. We'll Antil for a card. Add Descent. No, nice try. Okay, so she's on 3 credits. HQ is somewhat soft. We need to keep our money up. We have a couple lines here. We can Slash and Burn and off the books. We can Moonpool, which is a bit more expensive, but it fixes the flood. So in theory, we can Moonpool off the books and get a counter on it, which can get a Spin Doctor back. I can play the Petty Cash. I don't really want to. We could Moonpool the Eminent to get a big old BOAC on R&D, which is also kind of fine. The problem is, like, how do we close the game out? I think we might just Slash and Burn the Eminent and just get a BOAC on R&D. It beats Boomerang relatively well. Carmen breaks BOAC for a lot. It's like 7. We're weak to Mag Electric. But I think that's probably what we do here. Again, you have to pressure the Spin Doctors. It's so important. I feel like you get so many free, like really bad blowouts if they don't pressure it. Do we have a BOAC in the deck? Yeah, we have one more. Sauce installs for free. You can also grab a Plutus here, and I think having a Plutus here is good, but this remote server is not perfect. At least with the BOAC, we can res it for 4 credits. And the Carmen goes further. Okay, I'll discard the Petty Cash here, I think, relatively happily. IA off the books for Max Greed. I don't think we can. I think the remote server will fall to something. That also takes 2 agendas out of hand, which is kind of nice. Not that Moonpool wouldn't. Getting a Moonpool on the table is just also so if she runs HQ. Okay, good pressure. Sable Mark doesn't seem to have mattered. I haven't been checking where the mark is. This gets broken for free. Chess was really, really good. And using bad pub. Okay, so we have to Spin Doctor here. So we're going to bring back the Slash. Then our last bring back here, it might be the Moonpool. We have 2 more Plutus in the deck. The last BOAC is something she has to be scared of. I wonder if we shuffle before score there. Drawing Slash or another BOAC wouldn't be terrible. We shuffle before score. Oh, but we don't draw there, right, Rohit? What am I missing? Moonpool's fine. I feel like red level clearance is a bit more flexibility. Hedge fund's good. We haven't got transferred yet. I want to leave RLC in the bin maybe for Plutus, so I guess we'll just do hedge fund. All right, not running the mark. Feels good. Nope. Okay. So if we put Eminent in this remote server, this BOAC gets rezzed. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is an 8 credit break. Drawing in the future. Yeah. Yeah, we might have popped the Spin Doctor immediately on this draw. We can also score this Eminent with Moonpool, which is expensive. We can install off the books, install Moonpool, advance, and then just score the off the books to put us on 5 points, which means we can just win off of a top deck. If that's the case, I think we play Petty Cash and we just Moonpool for off the books. It's expensive, but all our stuff is rezzed. Will we draw here? Yeah, because we're going to empty our hand. Yeah, now we can win off of a 3-2. In theory, with the Hermes, we could still just like Slash and Burn the off the books. And that means next turn we win. Like, she probably bounces this. But if we Slash and Burn the off the books, we're on 5 points. She's so far showing no multi-axis. But if that happens, then next turn we can install Eminent. Oh, we need another agenda to do that. So either we Moonpool off the books with no counters, bring us to 5, and then Slash and Burn hopefully closes the game out with, I guess all the 3-2s will be in the deck. That's not in our score area. That's bad. The server is good though, but it's not bulletproof. Just no multi-axis. So this is a good choice. Is whether we Slash and Burn the off the books or the Eminent. That'll put us to 4. We really want to get to 5 so we can win off of a Slash and Burn 3-2. So off the books, Moonpool empties our hand. I think that's probably a bit more important. Our HU is relatively tight. Or we Slash and Burn, she gets free points. Let's just not give free points maybe. All right, so we're on game point. She probably bounces this, which pads her hand. And if we top deck a 3-2, which there's only 2 more in the deck, we're in a good spot. Plutus also might do something, but the remote server is not very good. This allows us to reposition this BOAC for R&D. Ooh, what happened? Twinning? Okay, that's where it gets frightening. So now she needs to log the top of the deck every turn, and at least the server's a bit expensive. Cool, trading the twinning. Let's see if she runs R&D here. Log to the top of R&D, we will lose to that. We don't have a lot of ways to break lock. I guess we could draw RLC, but we only have one more. Oh, wow. So if we top deck well, we win. Sure. That's really good. I don't think we do double BOAC. I think we just put the Masquerade gun there. It's 4 credits. So man, as long as for free is so good. Oh my god, that's good. Descent can shuffle. Yeah, Descent can shuffle, but she didn't see the top of the deck. And it does cost a click. So it's not like we're going to win from that spot. I think we just draw here and click for credit. Okay, so we win next turn if we can survive. We just need to keep both of these. So whether she sees 3 on HQ here or locks the top of R&D, one of them is worse for us than the other. Would it have been possible to burn the moon pool and slash for a book counter? Burn the moon pool and then use a counter for Plutus? Oh, sick. Very, very good. Maybe burn the moon pool. The problem is slash and burn doesn't work with moon pool because it's face up. But we could have got another counter and then we could have got maybe the last spin with it. Yeah. Maybe the Plutus too. So she's going to see 3 cards here. This is really bad for us. Maskarovka, red level. Holy crap. Wait, she full whiffed on that? She saw 3 cards and saw Maskarovka BOAC red level clearance? I mean, okay, we'll take our plot armor. What the heck? A good game. There were 5 cards on that axis. Maintenance axis. 2 being agendas. Huh. Guess which ones you missed. Oh, damn. That didn't feel good. That did not feel well oiled. You see what you can do though, but I do want to put more of the game emphasis on the remote server just to keep her more busy. Yeah, real rough. Thanks for the game. But we do have lines to fast events out in weird spots for sure, which is nice. We drew the measure response, which is like not something we can afford. I feel like affording things is an issue with this deck in general. I wonder if we have to play a bit slower and play Gov Sub. Antil seem good to put something in the remote server. The Eminence seem really good. Maybe we do keep playing Eminent. I don't know. Yeah, I cheers. Vicky's so good, just dodge. You know, you're good to manipulate the RNG. So, like, how many operations do we have left? We have petty caches, we have all of our green mills, we have our hedge fund. The deck gets pretty ripe with flash and burns at the end of the game because of the way that we play. But yeah, the fact that we can like ice up centrals while still fast advancing out, it's like kind of the thing that you could do at elevation a bit more, which is, I don't know. GovSub is so bad now with P cache. I'd sooner play 3 cache, 3 KPI. I don't think you're playing that in the spot of any of those cards. I do think we play slower and play GovSub. We can maybe play Valenchow a bit better. But I agree, like at no point in the game am I on 10 credits. And that's the issue. But I do think I play a bit more aggressively than some, potentially. Yeah. I don't know. KPI is really good though. It feels nice. It feels really nice. Gain 2 credits, draw a card, install this for free is like, seems fine. I like Eminent a lot, especially when you can get away with Eminent for Plutus. Eminent for Plutus is really good, and if they don't deal with that, again, the Plutus keeps going, and that feels good. But it does feel like, oh, if your opponent doesn't have the right tech, which is like Pinhole, or the way to get through an ice on this turn, which you can't always expect a runner not to be able to do. KPI felt wild that game. Duckland, how's it going? Good game. It was really, really good. I never ended up shuffling an agenda back, but it was like, we never drew our hedge funds early. We drew 1 hedge fund all game, so it seemed really important. You need 10 credits to go to Hansei review. I just don't think we can get to Hansei review because it's losing cards from hand. Maybe in Zwicky you can afford to lose cards from hand, but I'm pretty sure if I need, I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just play Predicted Planogram and just like gain 3, draw a card instead of like going card neutral, discarding a card, drawing a card. Wait, what's the text on Hansei? Do you draw the card after? You have to discard the card first. Gain 10 credits. Wait, so you actually go up a card, then you discard a card? So Zwicky interrupts this in the best way possible. That's kind of cool. Eric, how's it going? I wasn't able to catch up on the Monday stream so far. I've been traveling. How was this whack? Play a little more conservatively compared to you, and I get the GovSub played all the time. Yeah, I think if you play slower, it's also up to your opponent. Like, I think my opponents are really aggressive, where I feel like I have to res, you know, Winchester on turn 1 or ice on R&D, and so I don't feel like I'm on 10 credits. Discarding Petty seems okay. Discarding Petty is good. The thing is, like, in Zwicky, Petty, actually, honestly, playing Petty is better than in most because you gain 2 credits on a card draw. Like, the problem with Petty is, like, the first play of it's really bad. But the fact that it's now 4 credits and 2 card draw is good. But yeah, I guess if you Hansei it, but you can always just discard it with Zwicky draw. This swap got destroyed by Seb twice and made me sad. That sounds about right. Love how strong the punctuation meta is with Zwicky. Yeah, it's really cool. The punctuation meta actually matters. The modal meta. All right, let's build a Modernism version. It's not always the best possible. If Hansei is your last card, you have to draw then discard. Oh, I guess if that's the case though, you just don't Zwicky. But yeah, if you Hansei with no cards in hand, it doesn't actually have additional text because it just says like reveal if discard a card if able. It's not a cost. Oh, reminder for the art, of course. I was excited for that. Thank you. All right, Vancouver. Said San Francisco. NANPC coming up. We saw some prizes. Yo, Daniela Jorge Ignacio. So this is the artist that does, I'm not sure, is it all the art? But most of the art from Celeste at a minimum, but I do think is from Vancouver, from Amora Bettany. That's really, really cool. I wonder how close this is to the Daniela you have that is depicted in the NSG art. I think it's relatively similar, right? She does, the non-pixel art for Celeste. Oh, very, very cool. So like, I don't actually know what that is. That's really cool. Nice color work. It's also good to see this with the text box and all this sort of stuff. I'm assuming that this is backsides or full art, and this is standard legal for sure. Yeah, these are really, really good. This one gives me mad Radlands vibes. Very, very Radlands-esque. This similar, but because of the oranges, less so. The purples and blues show up on Radlands. And then the fact that they also kind of feel cohesive as a pack, even though they're two different artists, is pretty wild. Really, really, really cool. Are you getting these in foil too? These will look great in foil. I'll add that Amora is from Brazil, but lives in Vancouver. Oh, okay. Rad. Let's just see what the detail work is to see how closely this is to Daniela. Because Danielle has glasses, right? No, Danielle doesn't have glasses. Ah, so actually you have artistic liberty. Is this designed to look like someone specifically? It's a good look. Man, cyberpunk clothing is always a lot of fun. There's a larger version further down on the page. Okay, hold on. Oh yeah, there you go. Without the, very cool. Super cool. That's quite nice. I like also the texture work here that looks organic. Like this looks like not hand drawn. This looks kind of like filtered Photoshop texture work on top. I'm assuming it might be hand drawn. That's really cool. Well done, Alec. Commissioning art. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress. I think, yeah, you did a great job. I wonder if this is the first time maybe. Very cool. Cyber hair. Yeah, good cyber hair for sure. Sick. Also, of course, you've probably seen this. This is the Charlotte Casador from Matias Calza. This is a participation prize for all NANPC events. So if you're coming out to Encons here in Montreal at the end of August, that is a NANPC event. The NANPC in Toronto event, I think, is in a couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken. You can find more on NANPC Games. And in the background, that is Hams. The shred will be foil for early birds. Oh, right on. Can people buy tickets just to get the prizing and not go? Like, do you want that to be a reality? A lot of people don't, but like, can people just buy a ticket just to get alt arts? Apology if you weren't ready for that comment. Let's build a Modernism. I think there was one deck that's already posted. I'm pretty sure this is the deck John played on stream last week too. I think it might have been this net deck. Maybe it was an original, but somebody put together a Zwicky deck that's Modernism, 83% win rate on JNet casual, whatever. So you know it's good. Zwicky Modernism. Ali Flicks, 84% win rate. Sorry, rounded up. So you got some Modernism staples. This is one of the few decks that I think Bite makes a fair bit of sense because you care about cards in hand, you care about the tags. What Modernism is, people use this term a lot, super Modernism. It was this archetype from 2013 onwards, I think, maybe 2014, in old FFG Netrunner world that was arguably good sometimes, not always, but it was a fun way to play Wayland, which was a pretty bad faction back in the day, in which you played quickly, you got points on the table, you try to fly, and on top of that, the runner had to deal with not dying to stuff. That usually cared about tags. You had a bunch of stuff that actually trashed programs. That was another thing. They had to respect the ice. And so the speed that you could control the game, and that's why I like Zwicky way more than Bangin. It feels like this is more a tempo ID, so you can lead the dance. And so they have to keep up with you. Now, this deck has a couple win conditions that has 2 measured response and public trail into end of line. I have no doubt the end of line public trail package is just winning so many games on JNet. I do think that the write-up says, yeah, you just win games on JNet, where on turn 2, you can public trail end of line people. And these sort of 2-card combos are a lot easier to put together in Zwicky because Zwicky draws a lot. That is just a really nice thing. It's like end of the line to public trail is usually a 2-card combo. I'm surprised this deck isn't on Angelique or another way to do more incidental damage, but hopefully speed helps. You could do measured response into end of line public trail. That's a bit of money, but maybe with GovSub we have enough money. We have predicted planogram. I like this a fair bit. You're very incentivized to do gain 3 credits and draw a card because you only gain credits when you only draw a card from Zwicky when you gain a credit from an operation. Not a transaction, right? An operation. Yeah, an operation. We're not on Plutus. We're on Off-World Office, which I think makes sense in Zwicky as much as I don't think I'm super sold on it. This deck would absolutely love Oaktown Renovation, which has rotated. We're on 3 Green Mail, 1 3-pointer, which wasn't uncommon back in the day, as much as like you played Global Food Initiative, which was a fair bit more powerful of a card overall. And then you have that package. In terms of the ice, you have 3 Afshar. I feel like I want to play a single Descent probably. I feel like it helps with some of the slash and burn stuff, and it gives you some flood protection. I don't love 3 Afshar. I think playing again a single copy as well of is also reasonable. If you play a single copy of Fly Swatter, that's fine. A single Semaximin, I think this could make some sense. I don't know how much of the meta we're losing to this, but it's fine. Single Logjam makes a lot of sense too, and 3 Maskarovka. I do think this is a deck that actually could play Pharos because you actually care about all the subroutines on Pharos, which is nice because this actually does matter. And this is a big old barrier to get through. So you could actually consider Logjam over Pharos or Pharos over Logjam. I think some testing will tell you what makes more sense. 2 BOAC, fine. We're not an Eminence, so I don't know if we need the 3rd BOAC. A lot of those decks weren't playing 3 Archer, they were playing 2 Archer, so this sits well with me. And then we have a single Hammer, which is good because we care about the text on this, and then we have a single Winchester. I think Winchester's been performing really well. Maybe the fact that we're on 3 Afshar means that's our HQ ice, I can't tell. But we have to build a remote server, we have to jam. In terms of jamming, we don't actually have that much else that we want to jam. Like we don't have Regolith, we don't have Anthill, more accurately. This deck maybe also wants to play a Tucana, I can't tell, but I'm definitely going to just play this as a shell. I don't think there's anything that's jumping out that I would really change with this. This seems totally fine. I'm unsure. I'd rather people not, just because the extra effort of postage is a lot and my time is already stretched. Okay, good. If there's spares, I'll bring copies of Montreal and Edinburgh. Perfect. Yeah, if you can grab me some copies there, I'd be pretty happy with that. As much as, yeah, I don't think I'll be able to make it out to Vancouver this year. I've been feeling pretty down on Logjam recently. I never res it when it's like 2 and 3 strength. It's not that bad when it's 2 or 3 strength, is the way that I see it, right? Like, I think 3 strength barriers are better than they used to be. So having a 3 strength Logjam is kind of fine. It's like reasonable into Banhar. It's okay. It's good into Boomerang. It's good against Botulus. The fact that if they face check it, you gain it for 4 credits. If this card was 4 credits and it was 2 or 3 strength, I think it would be actually relatively okay. Obviously, that's very close to Maskarovka, which you functionally res for 1 credit. But I just think the fact that I'm used to like really edging the Logjam until it's really, really high strength, we might not have to do anymore because there's not a lot of good fractors that break 3 strength stuff. I'll do a trade for a crocheted Banhar. Oh, 100%. Easy. Oh, wait, I have to talk to Maddie before I say that's easy. But I do have, I think, a pair of Banhar birds. Deal. I play Logjam to beat Boomerang, otherwise I tend towards Pharos. Yeah, Pharos is weaker, but we do care about the tag. It's just Spiderweb, which was a good card. Yeah, exactly. We paid 4 for this, but Spiderweb was a really good card, both into the meta of Faust that cared about the number of subroutines, and because this could not get boomeranged into. This is the card that was actually, yeah, it was in System Core 2019, but for many, many years, people have just been asking reprint Spiderweb, and NSG won't do it, and they gave us Logjam instead. Yeah, exactly. Pharos demands less investment. Yes, Pharos is a fair bit cheaper, or sorry, a fair bit more expensive. Logjam you functionally res for 4. It just, it's pretty rough to res that. Let's give this a shot. This looks fun. I'm actually really into this build. I don't know what I would change with it. I think we'll get some games in it and figure out. I feel like this is the part that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. This is the sort of deck that definitely wants to play Atlas. I'm surprised it's not on Off the Books, because Off the Books actually allows you to jam into jam into jam into jam. It also allows you to grab your pieces as much as you tell your opponent that your pieces are there. And a lot of this strength of this deck is also people not expecting you to play kill, or they just die to measured response out of nowhere. But I don't know. This part, I think people want to play because Zwicky says, oh, play the agendas that give you credits. But I honestly don't think scoring this out and drawing the last click is actually that good. There's a chance you'd rather play other agendas, especially 3/2s. I think overall happy resing the Spiderweb analog for 4, but when Banhar active, 6 credits seems like a much. Yeah, you know, but yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you. 6 credits seems like a lot. Let's change minor cards. This feels like Pivot would be good as a 1x. I'm honestly not sure. I feel like Lockman knows. Hopefully we're drawing enough of our deck where it doesn't come to that. I could see it, but I just feel like Pivot is always such an ugly card unless you have a really good use for it, because it just sits in your hand and you're like, what am I playing this for? So let's cut at least 1 Afshar. We're on 13 ice again for Fly Swatter. I think we can do that, no problem. I'll try the Off-World Office because I haven't yet. I think the bites are good. The Smuxamon is like fine. I'm not super excited about it. And we'll go from here. I have to play a bit slower because this deck wants to play a 10 credit combo of double measured response. And that means I have to play slightly slower to hit the government subsidy. And that's going to be an issue for me. I generally play too fast. And I think Modernism wants to play fast. I feel like modern measured response decks are better, not as a tempo game, but as, I wouldn't say grinder, but as a sort of an inevitability engine, where it's like, oh, by the mid game, my remote server is 3 ice because of KPI, and you have to run through it and still have 8 credits, and that's harder. So I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say disappointed, but I'm surprised that it looks like measured response is better at home in like Hyper Glacier than it is in Rush. It's a weird thing to me from what I've seen. Yo, Paul, we've been playing this deck, which is like Fast Advanced Zwicky. I should just change the name. It's been a lot of fun. This is one of the decks I first built in the new meta, and I've been just jamming it. We're moving on to something a bit more deadly. If it's just your 3rd or 4th copy of End of Line, Public Trail and MR seem good for one slot. The thing is, like, a lot of those are actually like 3-click combos, though. Right? Like, a lot of times you have to do, my guess is you have to do measured response into Public Trail, into End of Line. As soon as you add an additional click to any of those, that doesn't work. Do you think Zwicky Modernism could be playable competitively? Maybe. Hard to tell. I think for me, the big question is like, I think on JNet casual, people are not going to respect it. You're going to die. The big question that says whether Modernism is playable is whether it can win in open deck lists. Whether people know your threats, they know how fast you can go, they know what the ice is, they know exactly the kill lines, and then they can still consistently lose to that. That's what it would take for me to say Modernism is competitively viable, because it's the sort of deck that with unknown information in hidden deck lists or closed deck lists is a lot more viable than anything else. So I can't tell if that's what it takes. Like Spider Bro probably knows that we're playing kill and will probably play a bit differently, and that's going to have a huge impact. I often find I have so many cards in hand in FA Zwicky, trying to hold on to kill combo will be tough. Maybe. I think we might discard some cards. Hey. Best of luck. Have fun. 20 operations is wild. It's a lot of operations. Okay, so what do we do with this hand? I'm assuming we hedge fund Spin Doctor for ice. We have 13 ice. This hand's not terrible. We could mulligan to better, but we definitely want an ice on HQ against Lu, and then ideally we want an ice on R&D against Lu. We just need to make sure Gourmand doesn't fire on turn 1. We don't have that many trashables. The deck has like 5 trashables and 2 measured response. So Lu actually has to work a bit with Gourmand. I'm going to keep this, but honestly, not the best. Lu also draws cards when Lu interacts, which is not going to be great for me. Heaven forbid a Carnivore. But this is the sort of deck that's running Gourmand guaranteed, so some of our kill pieces like Public Trail are not guaranteed. Draw ice. No! Should have been more specific. Not you. Okay, that's fine. Let's start with a hedge fund. All right. Okay, spin onto the table will be contested on turn 1 with Lu, and I feel like I don't love doing that. I think we can get the logjam down and click for a credit, and at that point, if Lu trashes a Spin Doctor, we're not super upset. But I think logjam on HQ, click for credit, is just fine. See what happens here. I want to stay around 10 so that we can top deck a Gov sub. I think we're only on 2 Gov subs though, like, or maybe we're on 3. What are we on? We're on 2. So I don't like that we're on 2 because I don't know whether I should float on 10 or not. Fermenter, okay. Purging manually might be reasonable. Playing Mavirus actually is kind of reasonable. Logjam Botchless is reasonable. Okay, slash and burn. So predicted planogram is going to be your first click. Second click is probably going to be Spin Doctor, so I think we start with the Spin Doctor. We need to ice this up because it's going to be contested. And then we can slash and burn something out, maybe. So we'll predict a planogram for 3 in a card to fire Zwicky perfectly. I do not know how we are meant to do with this off-world office. Install advance seems bad. In fact, a lot of things here seem rough. I hate GovSub lately. It's been a card that I've been cutting from more decks, but I do think certain playstyles really do enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe you end up playing it in like Humanoid Resources HP. I'd be surprised. Okay, so Fermenter. Protecting the Spin Doctor is kind of important. If he runs it, like we have to crack it. I don't think that's actually the worst thing. We'll just put this on R&D. It's not like we're slash and burning anything from our hand. What are we discarding? It's like probably the end of the line, honestly. Nah. I would trash Logjam and Ice HQ again, just use Spin to fix. Yeah, there could be a point there. I just want to ice up both things. So like, I'm not super worried about this. I'll probably want to get another ice on HQ in a second. Okay. So here we might not res. If we res the Logjam, Spider Bro can let it all fire and gain 3. If we let this through, it's only a small chance. Either hit the Spin Doctor or hit the agendas. I'd rather let that happen. I don't want to give this Lu card draw. Does anyone play with the big deal Nuvang list? I've been playing RL and it's so fun. I kind of avoid Nuvang a bit. I do think it got some support. Okay, so if this gets trashed, Spider Bro pays 2 credits, makes a successful run, and then draws a card. I'm okay with that. I'd rather bring the Spin Doctor back. It also makes this logjam slightly better. So we can score this out and have to discard a card. Nuvang is optional. 1 card, right? Not 3? Well, they can let it all fire. I think it's actually in their best interest to let it all fire. Maybe just break the first. Like, I do think the card draw might be a bit better. They don't need to botchless it. I think they'd rather let it all fire than come back when they can botchless it next turn. Right? You're right. They can botchless 2 of the subroutines, but if every subroutine costs you a card draw and you can't break all of them, rather let them all fire. Oh, you're right. They'd only draw 1 because of the way that raindrops works. No, that's actually really important. Yeah, I forget that the first subroutine fires and the second subroutine doesn't fire. So if that's the case, they'd only draw 1. Yeah, interesting. I hate that we don't draw there. You're not expecting to be able to double end the line, right? You're just capitalizing on the bite tag. Yeah, you're actually right. We can't even public trail a double end the line. The only way this works is if they eat the bite tag. Oh, Banhar is good for us. Yeah, I don't know. I think they need to be a bit more aggressive. So if we res this for 6, or we can just destroy it, they'll be able to break it every turn. Otherwise, they're going to be running it in leech counters. We could purge next turn and discard a card. If we res this, we go down to 7. It gets 2 counters, 3 counters. Fine. Why would raindrops draw 1 and not 2? Because as soon as the first end the run subroutine resolves, the second and third subroutine don't resolve because the run is over, right? As soon as the run is ended, no more subroutines will fire. So if the first subroutine says end the run and the second subroutine says the runner gains 17 credits, the 17 credits doesn't resolve, right? Shit. Okay, purging is worse now. I don't know if that was a great res. It's still good into botchless. I was missing the end to run in the first sub. Yeah, there's 3 end runs. That's a really fun subroutine, gain 2 credits on the run. All right, well, we could do 4 tempo damage. We could also just purge. I think considering purging is reasonable. Now we don't have to discard a card, and it sets back their fermenter and leeches. They can always ban our R&D, and we do 2 damage, but like I'm sitting here not feeling great. If they hit a bite, fine. Measure response into public trail to end the line is like what? This is 7. It's like 12 credits. Not feeling good about this. Not feeling good at all. Oh, that's really quite bad, I guess. So I guess they're taking damage on this. And this hunger hates that first sub. It really does. Okay, it's good to track that. They lost a crew, which is nice. End a line, they know it's there, so they need to keep cards in hand. We can in theory public trail to trash Banhar, which I wouldn't say it's exactly correct, but it might not be the most wrong thing we've done. A second ice here would be good. So now I don't want to play this, so I guess we spin doctor before we lose it. So the order there was scuffed. We can put the Maskarovka on server 3. I have no idea how we're meant to score an off-world office against Banhar. So if they keep going HQ, if they don't get a Gourmand down, we don't matter. We don't mind. I don't want to install another ice here if we're going to green mail next turn. Worst card in hand? Probably the off-world office, honestly. Like, I don't know if we can score the 7. It'd be interesting to see cards with non-end run subroutines after an end the run. No face check, more attacks in the long run. I think there's a card I want that's like called Bygones, where like the first subroutine is bad, the second subroutine is like medium, and then the third subroutine is good. I forget what I wrote down, but the idea is like, oh, you actually have to decide. All right, Petty Cash means our Gov sub ability won't fire. If we score the green mail, they get Hermes to open R&D. I don't want to do that. So I guess we will Petty Cash here. All right, they're going to be running HQ soon, which I don't love. Guess we Gov sub for 10 credits. Man, I don't like these turns. They don't feel reasonable. So in theory, we should planogram this turn, because otherwise we're going to discard. I don't think we mind discarding with Spin Doctor. I just want to make sure we don't get blown open here. They probably run HQ for a damage. If they hit the end of the line, we're okay. Are you trying for a killer scoring? I think JM we're meant to do both. I just am struggling with 13 ice into Banhar to maybe straight scoring out. We'll see. I didn't hit the trail trash Banhar line. They have 1 credit to shake the tag is worth it. Yeah, I think it's actually maybe reasonable. No, no, please. Yeah, it might have been right. I think they don't really have a board state if we get rid of the Banhar. Now, if we can do Banhar Paladin, it's important. This Gourmand's going to do something. If it hits the public trail, we're upset. But I think they're happy hitting Dandelion. At least the Spin Doctor, we don't mind too much. We might be over-icing Central, so we should just push into their remote server a bit aggressively. Hit a Strike Fund. That's the worst hit. Shame. We definitely want that. We'll see if the Gourmand there. There you are, yeah. Yeah, now the Banhar is going to live for a bit. But it's like Banhar because of this. Hard to play kind of rush tempo decks when you have to double ice every server. I just mean like the decks that play 13 ice are going to struggle against Banhar, and I feel like that's kind of okay. The thing is, like, if we're a kill damage deck and they're taking damage running, we should be happy about it. So I'm not super upset about it. Like, it's a fun matchup because it really matters about, oh, can they safely interact? Can we punish that? 10 credits, okay. Yeah, now the BOEC on the outside, it does stink. We'll score this, they can bounce something, it's fine. Draw a card, then we'll discard a card, but we have Spin Doctor, so we're fine. End turn, do we want to discard an Outermost Afshar or a BOEC? This is all quite bad. I mean, I feel like there's the amount of stuff that we could do in the Fast Advance deck by the amount of stuff we could do here. It's like if they run into a bite, we win. Probably. So we have to discard a card here. I want to slash and burn. I want to shuffle back Offworld and Spin Doctor. End of the line is probably the discard here, but discarding an end of the line into Lu with Imp is pretty rough. Planogram is playable next turn. I mean, it's probably this, and we just double ice. If they can force up the Spin Doctor, I think we're actually happy because we want to use server 3 sooner than later. I never see Banhar players leave home with 17 Steelskin Fire somehow. I mean, they saw Buffer Drive. We're also pretty happy. There's the Audrey. Okay. Things get worse here. This is like if they hit the bite, the game's over. Okay, Strike Fund, Strike Fund. Like if they hit the bite, they're kind of cooked. Planogram, okay. No Audrey. Huge. This is why I like Fly Swatter. Are we going to shuffle back in, start a turn? I don't think so. Okay. KPI. We can get ice on HQ, ice on R&D, but we have to build a remote server, otherwise we don't win. I think we'll start with the... We don't need money, so I think we start with the KPI. Okay, but this gets money. Okay, it's fine. Petty cash is fine. So we install this on HQ. I just really don't like the BOAC. All the bytes are in R&D, so I think we do have to build the remote server. The BOAC credit. We could also have BOAC on the innermost and build another server and just say that this ice is stranded. I'm actually okay with that. I just don't want BOAC on the outermost. We have 3 KPI though, so we can probably afford this. This just sucks into like Hermes run R&D. Maybe worth advancing the logjam to 4. Oh yeah, you're right. It does help with Audrey a bit. I'm just assuming the Botchus will be dealing with the logjam every 3 turns. Oh yeah, Leech too. Yeah, you're right. So I do think purging actually next turn might make some sense here. Badge, okay. Through Audrey. So we can decide purging here. Okay, we don't have an agenda. If we purge, they lose Leech, they lose Fermenter, they reset the Botchus. Having 10 credits matters because of measured response. He has to be able to pay for it, but he's not going to spend a lot of money. That's the thing. There's like this rig doesn't spend a lot of money. So like him having money, it's mostly for installing cards. So if we purge here, it's not great for us. I think we're okay purging here. I feel like Fermenter is going to be a lot of money. If we give the corporation 8 credits, the runner 8 credits, excuse me, next turn, do we lose? Maybe. We don't get a Zwicky, which sucks. Maybe we should have discarded the petty cash so we can do petty cash into purge and then we can fire Zwicky. I don't like this. Ludek makes a contact with Esu, sorry? Oh, like, what's her? Iru? Iru could show up. But it's not like we can really ice archives. I think if he's playing Hermes, he might be on Iru. We saw some ice destruction with crew. We haven't seen a Devil Charm yet. Ashen's in the bin, which is nice. So I'm assuming there's a buffer drive as well. But I think here we have to like eventually just make a play in the remote server. Their line is usually like botchless on this and run, which at least we beat that. As much as we have to res both of these. I just don't know what agenda we're pushing. Scoring an SDS would be good. Just like forcing the issue and getting to threat 4 is also pretty good for the measure response. I think the game's going to come down to hitting a bite. And I do think our opponent has been making risky bite plays. It's hard not to. Banhar's on R&D. We don't mind that. As long as there's no Gourmand, there's not that many trashables, so our deck is more resilient against Audrey snowballing and bad snowballing. What was trashed? Was something trashed? Oh, Fermenter was trashed. Okay, cool. All right, now we're good against Hermes. Fire all. 2 damage. Steel Skin and a Pinhole. Okay. We're not going to shuffle back here. Hit a bite. That's a trashable, funny enough. Gourmand trashes a Winchester. Everything fires. Just bit of a snowball. A bit of a snowball. A second ice here would be good. All these things like really do snowball together. I don't know what their win condition is. I think he's just touching cards and playing Prison Loot, which is not good for us. Only 13 cards left. Maybe we should just play slower and hold on. Botchless and Masquerovka, that's good. Ugh. Okay. Ooh, yay. We might have wanted to gone for draw 3 here. I'm not making plays. How many Steel Skins are at? 2 Steel Skins out, 2 Strike Funds out. We're not making a lot of plays here, huh? Having 21 credits does not really change the game that much. We could draw once. We might just proactively spin Doctor back in. The thing is, like, I don't even know what Slash and Burn scores in our agenda suite. Like, what do we Slash and Burn? Above law? Like, we actually don't have targets for the Slash and Burn. I don't know what we're meant to do with it. Drop and fix with spin. The problem is our spin is kind of spoken for because we have an agenda in the bin and a spin doctor, which these need to go back probably. So it's not like we can really discard that much. Like, I'm just going to take a non-turn. It might have been better to purge there, but actually we can't because we drew. Is there any value trying to feed an agenda to get the threat forward? Yeah, there's a bit of value for sure. But with a single measure response, not a huge value. And notice how, again, they're not spending credits. Double slash to score 4-2? I mean, you can. Is that good? Probably not. And then there's still points in archives into a Hermes. Maybe hitting a bite here is good for us. Okay, that's fine. No trash is important. That means next turn we can purge. Banhar's on HQ, so the logjam is holding on. So next turn we probably have to purge. Spotchless is going? I wonder if they're running Praxis, or they're just running Scrounge more likely. To help to raise the threat forward on either side of the Corporal Runner side. Yeah, and that can matter. It's just on our hands, on our board, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, even if we do measured response, have public trail to end a line, it doesn't kill them. Can you purge with without another ice on R&D? I think we can, because them going through this takes damage. Okay, so we have to res this. We will. So this is 2 damage, and then they can draw 1 more card on the logjam. I think it's fine. Them running out of cards is okay. Paladin and something else. Gourmand. Ooh, they lost a Gourmand to that. That's really good. Are we winning? I don't think so, Eris. How's it going? I think they're considering not breaking it, which is... Oh, cool. Gonna break with Audrey, counter 1 botchless. Like, this is why people lose, like, win off a bite. You can't access with 2 cards in hand to bite. This is super risky. Okay. Punished. All right, at least we're on threat 4. But if there's a bite there, the game's over. So they're on 14 credits. We're not forcing them to spend money. There's a cacophony down, so there's a clock on the game. Oh, Hammer's really good. So we don't have a real reason to purge here, but we're still not doing anything. So we definitely should have public trailed the Banhar down. They would definitely get a second Banhar, but it'll give us some breathing room. We have like no... I think we have to make them run out of cards. I'll petty cash. Off-world, okay. Tempo MR, they just pay 8, and them not having 8 doesn't actually really matter. Maybe it's right, so we can spend Doctor back, and it's a trashable, and we get that out of hand. I just don't know. Like, the thing is, on 4 cards, they can just take the MR. If they're on less than 4 cards, they can't take the MR. Because they're just saying, I don't think you have 3 MRs. In fact, the deck doesn't have 3 MRs. If we had 3 MRs, we actually do win here, which is really funny. Because we can blow through them, but we're only on 2 MRs. Only 9 left in the stack. Yeah, but I think they just pay 8, and then them not having 8. Like, they either can lose their whole hand or pay 8. And them going down to 5 credits doesn't change the game, because they don't actually need money. Don't they have an Ashen? They did. They lost one, though. So either they have 2 Ashens, which I wouldn't be surprised, or they have a buffer drive, or they have any of the recursion cards, like the one that they run archives. I'm going to slightly play around. Praxis, at least. Makes the public trail later MR possible. I mean, it does, but it's 1 in 20 to hit the public trail. I don't know. I think we're more likely just to wait for them to hit a bite. I want to be very clear, I'm not playing very Modernism-like. I probably should just have ignored centrals and pushed. And I think at this point we have to commit to this line that grinds them a bit. There's 1 3-pointer in the deck. If they hit, they just win. And Cacophony is going to be an issue because their Spin Doctor's already accounted for. I wonder if they just slow down here. Yeah, Crew, Nuka. They probably just fully slow down here. Okay. Smack Moon is good. The problem is like Banhar deals with it. So in theory, we want this on the innermost. We have a small window, so we need another ice here. At least Smack Moon into Biowack can like really hurt them. So maybe we just push Off-World Office here. But then we need Install Advance it, which I don't think we can afford to do. Because if we Spin Doctor back for Spin Doctor and Off-World, then we do Install. If they run it, the Biowack probably hits. That's really good. Yeah, let's just try and make a play. That being said, like, we can't slash and burn the Off-World too easily. But at least if they run this, we have a window, maybe. I think if they're in the don't spend credits except install state, you don't throw MR trail to cost them credits. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I just don't see how they can spend money. Clearing the tag with the bite is maybe how they spend money, but most of their stuff is going to be free from this point forward. That's the bite. We're in a really bad spot if they install a Devil Charm, though, because then we can't res the Biowack. But on no Audrey counters, again, this is why I really like Fly Swatter. Because if they just run R&D with Fly Swatter, boof, and the run, they can't get through the Maskarovka. If they run this, boof, they can't get through anything. Card's really good. Like, this Breaker Suite has no way of dealing with Fly Swatter. Unless it runs Simulchip. Cookbook. Twinning 2, wow. Okay, they have a win condition. I'm surprised. I am quite surprised. I do think I would actually trade this to Maximoon for an ice and just play Mavirus. I think Mavirus works with their game plan on a couple different angles. Banners on server 3? How did they charge the twinning? Oh, Paladin, right. Running HQ? Oh, yeah, right. They can do that. That's very bad for us, usually. Wait, how are they breaking this? Oh, they're going to crew it. Okay. I'm okay with that, I think. Measured? Shit, they can trash that. Okay, now we've lost. This gives them every trigger in the game if they trash this. Like, it gives them Badge, it gives them Audrey, it gives them everything. Hammer's like my go-to for dealing with decks like this, can go a long way if no crew gets it. Yeah, we have a hammer on R&D. But even like a Winchester on HQ is like relatively well positioned into this Breaker Suite. 3 subroutines, 4 strength. All the subroutines are relevant. Okay, the buffer drive means that the thing comes back. I don't think they run the remote server. I've been checking the comments on the other tier list, much curious to see the broader consensus. It hasn't been like super, I don't think there's been that much dissent, Jeff, besides the Bangan enjoyers. It being Fly Swatter? Oh, I have. I think some of the other tier lists haven't been high on Fly Swatter. So if we measured response, they have to just take 4 meat damage, which means if we had the 3rd measured response, we win. Even if they had the last steel skin. I am surprised we're not playing 3 of this. If we top deck with the petty cash, public trail, 1 in 19, we also win. No, but we have a Fly Swatter. It's always good. Okay, so we don't win. This protects HQ fully. Do we tempo measure response? I don't think we do. My opinions on fly swatter are broadly ignored by Axu and Augie, but I feel like there's a lot of things that you said I agreed with that Axu and Augie disagreed with. As much as I feel like I often agree with, out of the three of you, I think I agree with Augustus more. But I think there's a bunch of things that you were defending that I'm on your side. Fine. Opinions on fly swatter are broadly, I think it's okay, yeah. I think it's really good. I think it's really, really quite good. These sort of decks are very good, and it just eats them so hard. I don't think I've built a deck that has ice in it, that cares about ice, that has fewer than 2 fly swatter. And I don't think I felt bad about it. Unless the meta is like entirely criminal. Then maybe not. But it's not. Oh, cacophony, right. We have to deal with that. Banhar's on server 3. This looks like an SDS. Our gummy vitamins are stuck outside the heat. Okay, Maddie, give me 1 second. I gotta grab something from outside. Thank you. They did not ring. Not predicted for the second measure response? No, because we don't have enough clicks. Because if they take 2 measure response, oh, maybe. But no, there's actually only 2 measure response. There's no 3 measure response. So no, that's impossible. We had to hit the public trail. Yeah. 1 second. No, say whatever you want. Good shout out, Maddie. I think we want Banhar R&D instead of that. Yeah, for sure. Heat in Canada, it is 35 degrees, feels like this weekend, or on Friday. It got really hot here. What's 34C in American? It's like 93 degrees this weekend. Devil Charm, that's bad. Yeah, it's really, really hot here in Montreal. It's the humidity mostly that makes it feel like a lot because we're on the water. Go, chair, go. Do you have lethal if the runner makes a successful run? No, they need to have 3 cards in hand. We have no way of giving him a tag. So if we res the hammer for 6, they have to crew charm it. They're going to see 3 cards. We might just lose to that. In American. Think of the vitamins. I think I'm okay trading this because they have to like crew charm this. Oh, they don't. Actually, they can't. They have no crew. Fine. Enjoy a hammer. What crew? Yeah, I know. Maddie, I got the vitamins. I got them. No worry, no worry, no worry. Fire all? Okay. They broke none of them. Oh, this is Banhar. Ah, whatever. Last steel skin. Okay, if they have a hit a bite here, we have a game. Measured public trail into line? Yes, Tom, that's what we needed. If we drew clicklessly off of the petty cache, if we drew the last one in 19 or whatever it was, public trail, we win the game. That's for sure. It's just not good odds. Oh, Hermes, I forgot. I totally forgot this is Hermes. Hit a bite, please. No, okay. All right. Well, now we can't even push in their mode server because they just run and win. They're on 2 credits. If we top deck the public trail, we have it. Maddie, I don't know if you're watching live. I got them. Have we drawn any bites so far? No, we have 2. We haven't seen it. I think we should play 3. We can mill them. No, we can't because he can just use buffer drive to instant speed, put on top of the deck the Ashen, then play the Ashen again. He doesn't have the money to do it, but with buffer, you can always recur any card. We can't stop it. We cannot mill him. He is already milled out. This is where bite's like really, really important. But the thing is, even if we like tempo measure response, he just pulls it back. Thank you, Eric. Fermenter, okay, that's good. Cacophony, we're not going to mill. I'm going to get rid of the... And then 1 from the top of the deck. If it's the public trail, we'll be really upset. It was a spin doctor. That's pretty bad. Please don't kill me. No promise. Sick. Okay, we win. The sabotage helped us. The cacophony helped us. Not even close. Look at us just sitting there waiting for the runner to fall on their own swords. Good game. Yeah. The cacophony mill made me get to that last public. Oof. That felt bad, but I don't think we were rushing. We probably should have just ignored centrals and just pushed it. It's really hard though. With like Leech, Solidarity Badge, Hermes, you can't ignore centrals. But we were lucky that we drew the exact card. The deck has 2 bites in it. Okay, it was the next card after that. The last card is a bite, so that's useless. But that was really bad. I do not know how we score off-world offices. I feel like install advance doesn't make a lot of sense for a game plan. I don't know. Yeah, that... You hit a bite. Those runs. The game is in a weird spot. But I think when I'm on 2 points and you're so far ahead, you don't have to do much. Like, just build winnings, set your deck. And this is the thing, is like our opponent was more aggressive than he needed to be. He was up a lot of points. 5 points against Hermes when we're on 2. He can just like take his time, get a fermenter going, bring back the Ashen, and just say, I'm going to build twinning every turn and then probably win. Admittedly, twinning gets a bit scary into bite, but like we're not anywhere close to winning. He's just close to losing by being aggressive. And unfortunately, he was a bit aggressive. Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard line to hold down. Low-key just camp remote there, prep to bite in the remote. Yeah, and that's the thing, is like we don't actually have enough 3-2 agendas that you can just camp the remote server. Like we have to score out at a 5-3 or a 4-2 to win the game, and that means everything in the remote server, particularly if you know the deck, you just run. And there is literally no more 1-point agendas, so you just win by running the remote server. Benhar warps the game at the moment. Yeah, Benhar's very, very, very powerful. There's no way around that. Outfit and Argus have always been one of my favorite corps. I'm sad that Zwicky does this so much better than anything banking could do. Yeah, like drawing cards is really important. Staying ahead of the core runner is really important. Hey, thanks again. But yeah, this is definitely it's weird. This feels like more if you can make a kill deck out of Titan, right? Like you just get speed. So far, this did not feel great, but we'll see if we play against what other runners feel okay against. I do think we want to play a virus. I do think virus purging is really important. Maybe we just play a second Fly Swatter and we cut the second Afshar instead. I look forward to the future of Bad Pub. Yeah, the future. Another set. Daily. Okay, Tron's been playing really cool Daily decks. 47. We have Winchester Massacre for Centrals with a KPI. I think we're going to keep that. Then we'll green mail from here. Excited to see it. Tron builds some pretty convoluted, complicated engines. We usually get run down. Cooked too hard, got killed, and so it goes. Good game, Spider Pro. We're talking about it in chat after, so if you see the replay, you can hear the conversation. But the short and long is I do think, yeah, once you're on game point, I have to install advance in the remote server, so there's not much you have to do. Good game. I think we KPI for money. Draws a card. Build your own red level clearance, so we'll just extort ice for free, I guess. There's not much else I want to do. With 4 cards in hand, we're happy green mailing next turn. And these are really good ice. Daywee needs to be running. We'll see if this is like, I'm assuming this might actually be some umbrella nonsense. Tron likes doing the multi-card combo. I think that's the one thing I'm interested to see that I haven't seen yet. We're also really weak to deep dive, notably. Like, bite doesn't always work into deep dive. We're on this is game 2, Rushni. So hold on. So our first games were on fast advance. Now we're on modernism. This is our second modernism game. Game 1, we were cornered pretty hard. Oops. All right, from here we can probably push out behind. Push out behind a Bioac. I'm assuming we'll just never advance an Eminent. I do think if Tron's on Revolver, like the Bioac isn't super, super hot. You break this for what, 4, 6? Okay, Knick-Knack, that's really good. Icing of Archives is gonna be important. Daywee hasn't flipped yet. What happened? Oh, we got that back. That's really cool. This is the modernism list that was posted by Alleyflix. Zwicky Modernism. Okay, an ice from Archives would be good. Oh, we're on Plutus in this list? Oh my god, I queued up the wrong list. That's why it has Eminent in it. Okay, I queued up the wrong list because it was underneath. Okay, so we're playing Fast Advance. Oh shit, I was not emotionally ready for that. Okay, so yeah, I clicked the wrong deck. Good catch. Okay. Here we go. Oh, we should have KBI'd that turn for sure. I don't know why we didn't. Daywee wants a run that I do think modernism is going to line up okay. Pre-post modernism, Draco Swab, how's it going? Are we happy scoring this out? Like, what do we do? I mean, probably a deep dive list. Maybe Hannah Azamat is just good enough. Daywee's good into assets if you build it. Ah! All right, take a tag, find a bite. Fine. I will. Oh, we drew a second BOAC. I'm going to put a BOAC on archives. I'm going to give the respect. Your turn. Install Euro, last click. Install big thing. Now it's harder. Now we only have 5 credits. So if you run into the Maskarovka, then in the Winchester, we can res everything. Perfect. This Winchester, not a great res. We bottom out pretty hard. The BOAC greenmail ruling, don't like it. Very important at this point in the game. Because we might be on no credits. Why archives? Because Dewey needs to be able to run cheaply, and let alone we got an Eero down, right? It's ridiculous, but like I'm scoring the Eminent, so I don't know what else to get there. Artist? Is this connection synergy? Are we on Palas? Okay, makes sense. Slash and burns, yeah, it's actually true too that we can slash and burn like and just say whatever, which might be reasonable. Like maybe we slash and burn this Eminent. The problem is we have no more BOACs. Paula's Cafe, artist. So we have all the unique connections already. So this card allows you to basically play Madani, except you do save credits as long as you do on your turn. So we have an interesting choice here. We can slash and burn out the Eminent. Eminent can get a Spin Doctor. We can slash and burn the Eminent. Eminent gets a Plutus. The problem is we're on 2 credits and we can't res this BOAC because of the ruling. Because Greenmail says that you can't res a BOAC unless you're on 0. If you're on 0, you need to be on 4 credits because you have to forfeit this before being afforded to be able to play it. Why? Yeah, then we can't res. Yeah, Eminent for Plutus is probably the line here. The issue is we can't res the BOAC. So we maybe just slow roll for a turn. So we'll gain 2, draws a card. That's good for the remote server. We also need to make sure we can res the Winchester. So I will... Yeah, we'll install Peace Ice. So... we could forfeit the Greenmail. The problem is like Plutusing the KPIs is not that strong. I think we just score this. KPI gets you some money. It only gives us a credit. The thing is like this saves us a credit and a click. So it's a lot better. And we get the card draw. It's never bad. We just need to go faster than whatever nonsense Tron's on. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to res this. 50-50. I think it's going to be a Knickknack Orca deck. Tron's going to install the Orca, yeah, and it's going to sell the Orca to Knickknack. It won't be this turn, but that fills up a lot of the MU. Okay, cool. That was 4 credits. Heaven forbid give it bad publicity. Now, Orca only breaks Winchester for 4, which is not fantastic. If we res the Winchester, you can break 2 of the subroutines. I'm fine. Plutus, nice. All right, so the next round is going to sell the Orca. Plutus? Yeah. I might have grabbed the wrong list. Trump like Netrunner like it's bizarre. Yeah, kind of, honestly. I think Tron knew what we were on. So we score the Eminent, we go down to 3. We can res this server. We need to put ice on HQ. So we can search for a card and res it. So we could actually go for the Plutus here, which might be fine. We need to get an ice on HQ, but it's actually not that important. Tron's gonna make a run, gain 10 credits on a card, but have no breakers. How did Orca get installed? Off of Pala's Cafe, and Pala installed it, reducing its cost by 5, because we have all the unique connections. So we can install and res something. We could get a Valenchow on HQ, which would be reasonable. I think it works well against Lobby, which is probably in the deck as well. We could go get... Yeah, it's like Madani, but with more steps. And luckily Tron set up well, as much as on 2 credits. Measured response would actually just... Oh, next turn. Well, we're not even on threat, never mind. So it's either we get a Plutus and then this gets threatened. I'm going to go for the Plutus and see what happens. It's weird to see how many 60+ card corp decks I've been running to Janet open lobbies. Oh, David, that's weird. I don't know if I've experienced that much, but I do think there's a lot of people getting into the game. And so like deck building is very difficult. So that can make a bit of sense. This is not the best Plutus, but Tron can't, well, Tron can sell the Orca and deal with it, but yeah, I just think there's a lot of newer players. I think we ran into a couple oversized decks, but a lot of people are getting into the game. All right, we're not resing this 50-50. Off the book. Damn, we wanted that. There's one person who consistently runs 200+ card decks. Yeah, I think we ran into them on stream a couple weeks ago, maybe. 119 card Thule yesterday. Yeah, I don't think I'd be excited to do that. Well, KPI. We'll gain 2 to draw a card. So we lost our thing. So I think we're going to install a Bioac on HQ. Okay, the issue is we want the Anthill in here. I guess we'll just spin Doctor to start. Okay, we have a credit issue. Tehran can check the table cheaply with Hannah, so I don't want to put Anthill on the table. I think we just do credit, or just 2 credits here and discard the Anthill. We've kind of really committed to the server. That's a concede unless I have Conduit in the deck. It's a weird thing. It's like the expectation is you to play against their thing. But if someone showed up, if someone went to casuals and said, I have a 130 card Thule deck, do you want to play a game? My response would be like, no, I'm good. Hold on, thinking. We might want to actually pop the Spin Doctor, because if we don't pop the Spin Doctor, Tehran can initiate a run on it to fire Knickknack. There's actually some weird priority dancing with Knickknack and Coalescence and running the server. Because if we don't have the Spin Doctor here, I think I'm just going to remove this. It might be right just to use this preemptively. It gives Tehran 2 credits on a card draw, and with Hannah, it's clickless. Yeah, I think we have to just preemptively get rid of this, which unfortunately is going to be the Anthill. It actually might be right to shuffle nothing back in. Okay, that might be a bit much, but I just want to point that out, that against Knickknack, you actually, it puts pressure on your spins. Yeah, I see Tehran wanted to run it. Clicklessly draw 2 and gain a card with Hannah is good. So just keep that in mind. We might have wanted to shuffle in nothing. You can still get rid of Spin Doctor, but just keep that in mind. Sometimes pre-popping your stuff in Knickknack's good. I think I would humor the 119 card Thule once. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe once. Lily pad. Okay, sick. Coming in for free. Nice. All right, we're running out of counters or triggers here. We need to get another operation. Nailed it. I think we draw 1 card here. So we have to shuffle something back. I guess the Plutus. Mandatory Maskarovka. Nice. I don't know how this deck breaks barriers. Joe, I will vilify you. Okay, so unfortunately we don't have triggers here. I think we're just going to hedge fund to get into the bin for Plutus next turn. I'm assuming we'll lose on R&D sooner than later. Just do nothing. I wouldn't have twigged the preemptive Knickknack counterplay. Nice. Oh yeah, it's something I've realized. That it's like, yeah, Knickknack triggers are good. Okay, Simon chip for Orca. Simon chip for Muse Coalescence. We were waiting for a spec work here. The thing is, without the Orca, it's hard to face check. Okay, Plutus, we need to find something. We'll play Hedge Fund, draw a card. Oh, not good. But this deck has like 14 agendas. Has Dewi fired? No. Don't worry about that. Tron doesn't flip Dewi that much, but Tron's setting up. Now that this lily pad's come down, like we're really far away from it. I guess we have to play this to get into the bin. This is still really good into Orca. I just charging the barriers might be a problem. Okay, I guess we're doing nothing. Like we topped like any agenda, we're in a relatively good spot. And we're quickly like drawing 2 with Plutus Hedge Fund. Okay. Straight up sitting here pluting it. We're pluting it. No, this is why we shouldn't have shuffled this shit back into our deck. It's useless. The issue is like his like Eurogame board game is better than our Eurogame board game. Like our engine is worse than his engine. Second remote time. I mean, no shot. Maybe. I mean, what else are we doing abstractly? Like drawing? Yeah, it might have been better to draw there. Even Spin Doctor and just consider preemptively Spin Doctoring probably be better. Because like he's going to get to that engine where he's like, Julie, okay, clickless Nuka. The whole gang's here. Cyber Trooper, oh my god, the Orca's going to come in at 5 strength. Game's going infinite turns. Okay, there's the low B. So let's break code gates and barriers. They'll come in at 4 strength because of the Cyber Trooper, which is a connection. Not a companion. I feel like this could have been a companion. Just allowing us to have it. We have to start fast advancing. We can be on game point in 2 turns. We'll do Anthill first. No Plutus trigger, but I do think we're just going to off the books slash and burn. And just say there's 2 points in archives. Do we lose to deep dive this turn? We actually might. Just above the laws of Paula? You know what? I'm going to do it as a threat. I'm going to ask for action here. Because if he wants to install the Lobi Somi, it would cost a lot of money. Because Paolo's discount is only on our turn. Or, sorry, on his turn. So if we can force him to install Lobi Somio for sticker price, we're in a good spot. Oh, it's always worth a shot. Netrunner's a game of bluffing. Yeah, that's fair. So there's 2 points in archives. Still tricky to get in there, but we can't defend it. If we have a red level clearance, we can get the moon pool down. Unfortunately, Plutus is not firing this turn. We definitely need to find a petty cache. Cybertroop card, happiest about a turbine ban? Yeah, kind of fun card too. Kind of a really fun card to play the engine with like Knick-Knack and Principia. I don't think it's worth a slot, but man, +2 strength. Turns out that was good, right? I like the art on this. I think I have a full art of this. Okay, Hannah running into this. Okay, we have to consider this. Antil's being challenged. We res the Valen Chow. We give him bad publicity. Bad publicity is bad if we think this is a deep dive deck or a conduit deck. It could be either. We go to 17. We will not have more money than him, so the subroutines on this, after they fire, we might have more money than him. If he Lobi Somu's out, what does it cost? No, we just let this go. There's no way we res this. It's time for the bouncy breakers with rejig. It could be rejig into lily pad's fine. Lobi's down. That cost 1 credit. Orca's down from Simulchip. Down to 11 credits. Okay. I guess we're running archives now. The Orca still breaks the BOAC for 4 credits. They had no impact on the Cybertrooper text. All right. So now we're technically on game point. I don't think there's a top deck that gets us out of this. I've been considering 1x Cybertrooper and Gauss Euler Madani rigs. Yeah, it's just like, I'm not convinced it's good for slots for how fast the game is. And I'm not saying the game is fast. It just feels like I'd be upset to draw this on most board states. The link also doesn't matter anymore. I think if they bring back DreamNet, then this is definitely worth considering. I think day we flip that turn. We're very close to winning. The issues, there's only 2 more 3/2s. We could tempo measured and that might not be the worst thing. Hold on. No, we have to start with this. I think we do tempo measured because either he pays 8 or he loses his deep dive. The problem is I can't install the Spin Doctor because if we only have 2 clicks, he doesn't have to worry about tempo measured. Because now he's worrying about triple tempo measured. He might know. What does Cybertrooper 2 say? +1 link. Non-AIs get +2 strength for the turn they were installed. Paying 8. Okay, we're happy with that. Find an operation. We found an eminent. Okay, so if we red level clearance, we can clicklessly draw 2. Do we want to do anything with a click left? I don't think we do. So if we gain 2, we draw 1, or we can draw 2. I think we draw 2. I think we draw 2. He's going to throw one of these at us. Okay. And so either we can gain a credit, which draws 1, or we can gain a click, which allows us to install another ice. Lobi Somio breaks Masquerade for 3. Yeah, that's fine. So the problem is this doesn't give us the 7, but at least we can clicklessly play RLC to draw 2 and gain a click. And then we might have enough cards in hand to either moonpool or find the last one of the 2 3/2s. Why aren't you working? This is my work. What are you talking about? Stop streaming a dead game? I don't understand how to deal with that comment. It's like, it's an insult, but also it's nice. All right, Orca's down. So we can res the Maskarovka. We res the BOAC. It's broken for 4. If we lose to green mail, we go down 1. This gets broken. I don't think we res this. It's only like a 40% chance that we lose here. Question is whether we res this for... We can res it for free, but then we're off game point. Install the moonpool. I don't want to install the moonpool clicklessly because he just runs it with Hannah and Knick-Knack, and that's bad. The Simulchip of the Orca? Yeah, kind of. I don't think it's actually that expensive. Like, the deck wants to reinstall the Orca regardless. I don't think we res this. We res it for 10, we're into 4. 4 is too little. Yeah, we just let this go through. Are we getting deep dove? If we get deep dove, we lose. Hit the Plutus, that's good. That's the best hit for us. Surprised you trashed that. I'll guess Cheswa, that's fine. Julie to hand to the remote, nice. So dealing with the Plutus makes some amount of sense. It's $10 to install and break. I mean, yeah, but the $10 comes back next turn with the Orca cell, right? So it's free. I don't think we res anything. I think if this Plutus goes down, we're still fine. They can't dive you? Yeah, you're right, they can't dive us, but I don't think they can dive us anyways because they have to run the Archives BOAC. Like, that's the thing, if they're going to dive us anyways, they have to deal with this BOAC. Yeah, it's going to happen anyways. Oh, the day we flip. It actually might have made the day we flip awkward. I don't know if that matters. A 40% chance to lose is like me on 2 every game. It's a problem. The more turns you play, the more likely you'd be like, okay, I gotta win this 40. I gotta win this 40. I gotta win this 40. All right, now what are we breaking for 4? So now I can at least res this. This costs money because the Chesva's been used. So this is 2, which means the BOAC is actually a pretty bad face check. Might just bounce off of this, honestly. Yeah. Okay, MU is full. So that was off the Palace, so that was a free Coalescence. This could have been done during the run. Second Lobby. God, this is goofy. Love it, Ben Mascarisca. This card's absurd. It's so good. Beatrice. Okay, I don't think we're too worried. So we top deck one of our 2/3/2s. We win. Do we want to shuffle spin back in for RLC? Might not be the worst idea. Just shuffle 1 red level. No, we'll just top deck it. Just kidding. Might have been right. Okay. Keep him busy. Yeah, the whole gang is here. 1, 2. That's a second knickknack. How did it end up over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 counts itself. Oh, it's not a connection. 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's an Iru. Okay, cool. So we're paying some money for this. We're on threat 3, so this is going to see a lot of cards. We have no 3-pointers in the deck. So I do think we spin Doctor here. So this is going to see, sorry, 2 cards. I'm used to Seb. So shuffle in RLC, and I think we'll just shuffle in the hedge fund for padding. We could shuffle in the measured for padding, which might make more sense. Yeah, the shaper board states are getting increasingly incomprehensible. Like, I think that's a legitimate issue. Obviously, this is goofy, and this is not as bad, but like, I do feel like the Madani board states are getting nearly incomprehensible. We need it to break lock. We don't actually need it to break lock. I think we can score out from here. We can also just break lock with Moonpool. So if we res the Afshar, you have to install the low B. You break for 2? Yeah, okay. So you can res this BOAC for 14. You break it for 4. Feels bad. So we can res this Moonpool and pop it. If we do, we can shuffle the deck. Why do we want to shuffle the deck? I think we'd rather Tron pay 3 credits here. Yeah, I'm okay with this. I don't think we need to shuffle. We know there's no agendas on the top of the deck. We're probably going to score the green mail and then just like score slash and burn the eminent. Hey, Desvi, how's it going? Fellowship of the Ring? The Fellowship, I think, it's not even 9 characters, is it? Madani board state is Ari, but you can see their hand. Yeah, but they can do it on your turn. And you don't have to care about Trojans. And there's like 8 cards on it. Really wish I still had an off-campus apartment with Seb. It'd be very good. Oh my god, we've still all the clicks left? Oh yeah, that was a Julie, that was all clickless. It was a Julie Eero into a Hannah. I wonder if you're gonna send it with the Beatrice, because we shuffled, I doubt it. If you top deck an RLC, you just win next turn too? Yes. Yeah, we can get the Moonpool down clicklessly, right? And then we can do Moonpool the 4-2. Because we get down the Moonpool clicklessly, then we install the slash. Advance, throw out 2, yeah. So we have 3 and 16 shot, because all the RLCs are back in. So we have like 5. We have a 1 in 3 chance of winning on the top deck. It's actually less than that because we know there's not a 3-2 on the top of the deck because we didn't shuffle. But if we draw an RLC, yeah, we're fine. Mm-hmm. I always feel like Tron's doing something wildly different than we are. Like Tron's playing a totally different game. We're just setting up here clicking for credits. What is the amount of cards that you can install horizontally on a basic board state? Oh, I had a tag. Orca's back. Okay. Yeah, what is the amount of cards you can have in a row before you fall off of a regular conventional playmat? Bronze Runner subtitles. My goals are beyond your understanding. Paula's Cafe Ritual Boomerang Dr. Nuka. Okay. Beans. I guess we just greenmail. This breaks lock. I don't actually want to do that. Look at us just scoring a 2-1 with no text functionally. Yay! Orca's not unique. MU is unique. Most valuable all-seeing eye of all time. Yo, game over, Jeff. Just game over. Imagine game overing this board state. I think that card is a bit better than it looks. Okay. Sell the Orca, gain 10. Draw a card. Okay. You're into BOX going to see 3 cards. 2 of them are new. We could just lose to this. Not super likely, but we could. Just sitting here, holding on. Trashable? Whoa, we're fine. Have to keep HQ safe. Looks like there's no HQ multi-axis. It's almost a football team. You just need, what, 11 players? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, slightly short. It costs 3? Oh my god, yeah, it does cost 3. You can give us money, I guess. So we res this BOAC for 14. We're creditless. That's a problem. We could res it for less than that. I think we just have to survive here. We could lose. But what if we res this? If we throw out the green mail, again, you just break it for 4. I don't think we want to do that. Yeah, it's fine. I don't care. Million Friends is a good looking board. Yeah, it's not bad. I will res this. We can have slightly fewer credits. Tron's economy is not unlimited. Boomerang will deal with this. But you still have to break 2. Yeah. Nice. Okay, that's good because that's money. So running back is a bit harder. Don't forget the ID as a team member. No, that's a coach. There's 2 different coaches. One for away games, one for home games. This is the thing. There's too much stuff going on here that it's like very hard to like pay attention to daily. Oh, Hannah left. Okay. 2 more clicks here. Are we getting deep dived? We ran archives. We ran HQ. Maybe we get deep dived here. That'd be upsetting. Yeah, I would say that's upsetting. Money might be close. Because we can still resolve this and threaten lethal. Ban deep dive? I'm getting there. I am getting there. I do not like it. I don't think it's fun. Either to lose to. I don't know if Plutus runs 5-3s. I don't think so. Some do. Droids, yeah. Tron has a whole gang. And if deep dive were breach rather than successfully ran, where does that change? What does that change? Virtuoso? I can feel the walls closing in on me. I'm just sitting. Look. You threw the party. I'm just sitting here. Means you can ear for R&D. Oh, yeah. This is broken for 2. I think we have to just make every credit count. Because we can score out for 2 credits, right? Goated Maskarovka. So Tron's actually a credit short here, if I'm not mistaken, of deep diving. Because you have to break this for 2, break this for 2. So actually 2 credits short. I feel like Hannah Deep Dive was more niche. I feel like before Hannah Deep Dive was more niche. I feel like a lot of the Shaper decks were running one of Hannah. And just using on the deep dive turn. Or like DJ Sable. With all the good tech against deep dive, other than holding a Biden HQ, I'm pretty much in the ban deep dive camp. I don't even think it's the tech. I just think it's like how fast the meta is. Like, or sorry, how much slower corps are. Like when you were firing Rashidas, you had a chance. When you're not firing Rashidas, I don't think you can ice up sufficiently before they can fire it. Doesn't it have a lobby counter to break 2 barriers? Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Anyways, we win. Cool deck. Genuinely cool. This is a neat engine. Thanks, you too. How's that engine been? Yeah, I'm used to a kit because you actually do need to have you don't have to break all the subroutines. You just need 1 barrier subroutine. So yeah, you can't even get through the double Maskarovka. Hasn't been terrible, Lamau. It seemed kind of scary. I had like no reason to res the BOX. I guess I mean without Hannah, the deck that tried to win with deep dive would rare and be more would paid more significant play pattern cost. Yeah. And I do think that's like the Sable Swift issue is like that doesn't feel like you're playing any hard costs to be able to land deep dives consistently compared to like having to set up your Peach of Shawns and all this sort of stuff. It's like, oh, you have ways to play get 6 clicks consistently on just about every turn and you have bypass. Yeah, for sure. Good old Maskarovka still being sick. The engine rules. That was weird. Plutus was like just a little tempo piece. I don't think we scored out a lot with the Plutus, but like we only got KPIs on hedge funds, which don't work for FA. Yeah, for sure. I may be on the team that is too easy to get the extra clicks. Yeah, it is. I just can't believe that you can lie low and then still deep dive on the turn. Like that makes no sense to me. And it's not like you have to do things. It's not like you have to worry about Peach of Shawn. It's like lie low. Okay, run, deep dive. It's like, what? Yeah, you run your mark. You always play a run event. Why not? You functionally have 6 clicks every turn. I don't understand that part. I feel like that is a bit much. Thanks for the game, eh? How are we doing on time? We've been streaming for 3 hours. Let's do another Modernism game. Very coolest, Tron. Definitely want to see more iterations on that because like being able to sell a card for 10 credits is kind of sick. Okay, we're gonna pick the right deck this time. It's because I modified the other deck. Is this Nanook? Nanook? Musiat, 46 cards. We got that public chat and the line turn 1 kill. I think we're gonna float it. Hey, best of luck. Have fun. Thanks. So we're weak. We're very soft here to opening transfer, but I'm gonna keep this hand because it's just cracked. We can win as soon as turn 1. We'll predict it for a card. After gaining 3, we'll spend Doctor probably after that is my guess. We just need to get 1 ice on HQ. Yeah, this is like the hand you want. You think what I'm thinking? Go down to 5 credits, do nothing? Sick. We'll start here. Give me a Winchester. I mean, okay. I think Slash and Burn's kind of not good in this version. Table Bite kind of funny. I don't think I have a reason to run the table though. They're definitely gonna be running centrals. Concerto, sick. So if they know the top of the deck, this card gets a bit more consistent. People argue. I haven't tried it. I just haven't played Moosely Hot. Okay. Don't mind. The thing is like Moosely Hot doesn't play a lot of cards on a turn, so we might actually not consistently get a turn 1 cheese. Ooh, don't know what they saw. Plutus was pretty meh that game. 2 KP on a hedge. Yeah, we did not draw any fast events. We didn't find petty cash. We didn't find anything else. It was like fine. It was enough to keep us tempoing forward, but it was not like a banger. Okay, so if we res the Winchester, we're down to 4 credits. They trace through it. I think we're just going to let this through. Small chance to hit a bite. Massive chance to hit the bite. Biggest chance. Bummer. I wonder what they saw in R&D. If you don't res here, it's like either a Biowack or Winchester is my guess. Oh, good game. Yeah. Oops. This is what I mean. 84% rate JNet casual. Like this will just happen. Yeah, good game. Yeah, sorry about that. That's the thing. It's like I think people don't know what Zwicky can do, like how often it is a kill deck, and sometimes this is just the game you have. And like, does that feel good, Netrunner? I doubt it. Oh no, that's on me. They did see one on the top of the deck, so that's kind of on them. But I was not expecting them to go that low. Yeah, I guess you saw. I had the second one in hand, off the opening. Yeah, there was a bite in HQ. I was hoping to introduce to you. Yeah, I think if you see the public trail, you should put off the gas. That's a classic Seasword Scorch. Yeah, it's the thing is like, the problem is like Seasword Scorch was the Wayland win condition, so everyone played around it. But like public trail and the line shows up in one of every maybe 10 games, so people don't play around it. Yeah. Thanks for the game. Take care. Yeah, they had a good start though. Their hand was Concerto, transfer 20. Yeah, they had a good start. We'll run it back. That's what I worry about. Like, it's hard to sometimes record games in Modernism because if you're playing Bite, which you should be, it's just like, oh, that game wasn't that interesting, was it? We'll run it back. Fast queues. Going below 8 there by installing resources after seeing public trail is kind of rough though. You could just trash both of those. I think if I spend 6 credits on that turn to trash their resources, they're not that upset about it. You're right though, maybe that's something you want to play around, but spending 6 to trash a Nuka or a Fence or Funo seems kind of bad, or 8 to trash both is all our money. Hey, thanks, you too. This hand seems fine. We'll just double Masquerovka Centrals against Lat. I think you do struggle against mid-range barriers until maybe you get up your Rising Tide or something. This hand has the combo we can win on turn 1. We need money though. If we top deck a hedge fund, we're gaming. Yeah, it's turn 2. Public trail on the line. We had an opener. So we could start with the Spin Doctor for more options. I think that's fine. Otherwise, we can do Masquerovka credit. Having the Spin Doctor makes Lat harder to hit the target. I think I'd rather prefer to do that, but we don't res this. We just want to do this so if Lat tries to match, we can go up to 3. In theory, if they run this, then it gets a bit awkward because they can end on 5, but Lat wants to care about hand size matching, so we should be okay. I'm super Nuvem brain, so the money's usually fine. Going below 8 there, yeah. On Nuvem, it's a bit more affordable because that costs 2 less, but bait Lat to low hand size and hit them with an end trail and a line. That is our plan. Okay, this looks like a good Lat list. We'll just res this. Okay, so petty cash draw. Okay. Looks like we should have the juice for the next couple turns. I do think we can get this on HQ, but I don't expect a lot of HQ pressure from Lat, so we're probably going to use this on a remote server. I don't think I'm going to ice up the Spin Doctor. I'm just going to put a new remote credit. The issue is with this hand, we can't dump our hand into Lat, so there's no way to get our hand size down because petty cash is unplayable. So I think we unfortunately are going to give Lat that 5th card draw, or sorry, that 6th card in hand. So yeah, this gums up into Lat really bad. We'll just do this. Ideally, next turn we do petty cash, and maybe we'll just play Gov Sub. We'll probably play the petty cash from hand. We just want to get big money. And again, so much of the money in the matchup is going to be this Fermenter. We have to keep in mind that we should purge. We're a bit more methodical than we are fast. And I do think modern measured response decks are a bit more methodical than quick. Let's see, they really want to muse into Coalescence is my guess. This is always hard to play early if they don't get the sure gamble, so they had a good start there. Was that the second gamble? Yeah, good money. Fazerum's in the bin, fine. Okay, I think we're gonna play this petty cash. And then we'll just Gov Sub so we can Gov Sub. Slash and Burn's a nice setup. We can put the Spin Doctor in the remote server. If they charge it, it's a bit ugly. I think we want to make them make a successful run though, but not a huge thing. Yeah, don't love it. Not much else we can do here. Hey Freak, I'm new and completely trash at the game. Should I spam criminal to learn trial and error? Sort of, yeah. I do think aggressive criminal is a really nice playstyle because it wants you to touch cards and make runs. And generally, newer players are a bit too passive and they need to run more. A lot of people are a bit frightened about getting their breakers down. And luckily, criminal, you can just kind of send it. What I would recommend is if you're not in the green level clearance Discord server, which you can search green level clearance Discord, search it on Google, it'll come up. If you're a newer player, you can go into the looking for game and you can do like @mentor and just say like, hey, I'm a newer player. I'm struggling with fundamentals. Does someone who's more experienced want to jump into a game with me and talk me through some things? This game is very difficult and it's not always, we could have drawn there. I don't think we would have, but we could have. The game's always not that great at delivering you feedback on what you're doing wrong. You can also talk to your opponent after a JNet game, and there's a lot to be learned about that. What are we doing with Off-World Office in this deck? Maybe I shouldn't have put the Spin Doctor in there. That's the short of my long, is asking for help and playing with someone more experienced is one of the faster ways, but I do think the deck you're talking about is a good deck. If we purge here, they have so much money with environmental testing, and we've not been doing much here. So I guess we res the Spin Doctor. Okay, that's good. So I guess we're going to do Afshar Hammer Remote. And then we'll slash and burn the Off-World Office. Yeah, we could have denied them a draw there. It would have been correct. He should be asking for us to pop Spin Doctor before you get the lat draw. Generally on JNet, it's good etiquette to ask, because if we res the Spin Doctor, the paid ability window after their last click, they would not have hit the lat draw. So you should always ask your opponent. There's other ways to do it too. You could res a Plutus technically, or like I don't know, a moon pool, but you should always check. Because it's hard to fix information that you gained. Okay, Madani, so this is just good stuff. I don't think we're going to see spice. We're just going to see fundamentals, which is good. I honestly don't know if we petty cash. I don't think we petty cash on this turn because we're going to get our Zwicky draw off of the off-world score. So there's a Principia, which lines up poorly against Maskarovka, which I like. Okay, we'll do Flash. Advance. Protect the Spin Doctors. We'll draw a card here. We're happy to throw out the petty cash here. We have enough money in our hand. Should I make a safety blanket Baz? Criminal is tricky because your cards don't provide a clear game plan, though Muesli Hada can splash multi-X's run events, which would help. I think, Jeff, my guess is that Baz maybe supports good fundamentals, but I do think it makes people lean on some of the support structures that they probably shouldn't be. Oh, they have 23 credits. Oh my God. Like, you know, Flip Switch and Instant Boomerang and stuff like that. I do think still just giving new players a Zaya, or even a Muesli Hada is fine, but I think Zaya is more interesting. All right. We've gone too long against the Shaper deck. We're in a bad spot. Yeah, maybe. Recognize the one that JNet etiquette will recognize that I may want to take my money off of Cole from my mag install before they start turn. Feels like I have to speed race for moving the tokens. That's just a JNet issue, Lockman knows. I've no doubt the next update for JNet is going to give you a more defined window there. Just like Masterwork was a bit of a nightmare when it was first implemented, and now they have priority lane. I don't think we need a petty cash here. I'm just going to hedge fund anyways. And we just need to push in the remote server. Maybe we do petty cash then, because it's a clickless draw. Are we going to play the KPI? I think we played the KPI. That may be wrong. Okay, well, game 2. We want to find an agenda. Okay, not that. We have no ice. Okay, now we do. So we can shuffle the card back. Will it let us to shuffle the petty cash? Apparently no. Right on. So SDS is going to look pretty goofy here. We could have actually just purged the fermenter. It's just going to sit here and let us like do whatever. We can install SDS. We can't advance it. I just think single public trail double end line doesn't make any sense. We need to get to measure response. Like having big money doesn't actually matter. I think false lead echo DDoS still isn't implemented correctly on JNet. I think some of the more nuanced interactions that hinge around Eternal are not regularly serviced by the nice JNet folks. And like, that's not a burn. Like that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of other stuff going on. I know this last like season with the Eternal Super League, the JNet devs went back and fixed like Scorpios, which was a bit of a nightmare. So in time. They might bite on a table bite. I don't think they have a reason. They haven't ran. You can fix it. They just haven't had a reason to do it. Undo click. Right, like they're just going to set up and then probably will get blown out by Conduit or Deep Dive. I feel like, you know, Onicom Shaper, we're not seeing, but I feel like the interaction-based Shaper, I'm appreciating more. It was the end of your turn, isn't that? Yeah, I'll just redo the same. I don't know what they missed. Okay, so it was our turn. What did we do? No, it's no big deal. I think we did KPI, gain 2, draw, draw, shuffle, install, credit. Cool. Yeah, I just don't think they have a reason to run. They didn't run our spin doctors. They're just going to set up. I think in this deck, you only have to run advanced cards largely, so not a big deal. Use for coalescence. They want to take this money. Does it matter? Okay. This is the sort of thing. It's like, I don't think we have an equalizer if they don't just bumble into a bite. Like, I don't think purging really matters. It probably does. I think we'll purge this turn if they don't do anything. Like, nice. So now I have to ask for priority action. Theory they have priority because of Madani. We force out 2 breakers, which is a bit tricky. It's going to cost them credits. They are unfortunately going to get the 1 SDS, which might have been bad. Table bite actually would have been game winning in hindsight. Oh, actually not game winning because they're only a single. Depends how much money they spend. I don't think it's going to be game winning. They can't let these subroutines fire. Tag last click is bad. Lose a fermenter is bad. We'll see if it's an echelon. If it's an echelon, it's very expensive. Oh, Fizarum. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't break subroutines. Oh, Resin Afshar. So was that, where was that from? It's so hard to tell on JNet now how Shaper plays. So that was a simul chip. Okay, so they haven't used Madani. Yeah, Purge looking better for sure. So now there's an Afshar. So this has 1 subroutine you need to break. The other one is like whatever. So they don't have a decoder yet. They can't install anything from the table, so they're gonna have to use their second simul chip. This deck is definitely running Ashen, is my guess. So they're trashing that for MU, so they can get back a Muse, which the Muse will have to host a decoder on it, is my guess. And then if they hit the SDS, I guess you just sell the small fermenter. Maybe the Fizarum. Yeah, I don't love that we're giving them 3 points. Cool, SDS. What we can do after this game is we can just change the idea to Bangan, and then we'll see how much worse it is. What did they trash? Oh, the Fizarum. Okay, that tracks too. They're in 14 credits. If that was a snare, they would have had 4 cards in hand, which is not enough to be lethal. Lat gets a card draw. Okay, so I think here we can do Petty Cash Purge. Draw a card, fine. We have a Spin Doctor, we'll Purge. We have to discard 2 cards. Kind of ugly. Where's the Noodle Man? I don't know what that is. What's the agenda suite? Off-world offices, 1 above the law, 3 slash and burns, and an SDS. And then all the green mails. I don't like the agenda suite. I just don't think I'd play 3 slash and burns in this agenda suite. And I don't even like off-world office. Whoa. Okay, they're in 7 credits. So, clicklessly gaining 2 is fine. I don't think we need the gov sub. Okay. I really don't like this. If you're on 3x off office 3 slash and burn, doesn't make sense for Bangan. Yeah, I'd rather play Eminent in Bangan. How do they run this? I don't think they do. The problem is like we have slash and burns. Let's go find an agenda. Nope. How do I not like this at all? Why is this? I don't get this. I can't make plays. I have all these. Like, do we even install advance on a slash and burn? They need to figure out how to deal with this probably. Like, I can't do table snare. They shouldn't run an unadvanced card. They have no reason to. There's no more Shida. You don't have to run unadvanced cards anymore. Like, in theory, the fork is like government subsidy. I guess we can try. I just don't want to put this on the table. Keeping the second end of line actually has some value if they float a bite tag and then we can do public trail. I don't know. Table Bite, I just don't think they have a reason to run an unadvanced card. They have barely been running. I also don't like Eminent for banging. I get that people like the free BOX. Yeah, I would do it early and not show it. I reckon Public Trail into Trash into Tempo End of Line might have been a play. Yeah, maybe trashing the environmental testing is enough. Did they successfully run on the last turn, though? I don't think we could have. No, they didn't run, so that was not an option. Like, tempoing out their hand will matter. They're probably on a single action. I'm just assuming, oh, they're on Scrounge, that they can let us get this. Scratch for Fizzarum. Okay, great. They're running last click. Muse is on the bottom of the stack. Cool. They DC'd. I'm not expecting to see Scrounge with their non-lily pad, but this seems really good. Maybe just like Scrounge for Principia, and then your Knick-Knack Engine's good. It's hard to tell. They're on 15 credits again. We're in a pretty bad spot. They spend, what is it, 5 for this? They're on 10. So Public Trail doesn't land. Measured Response doesn't land. We really need them to hit the Table Bite. I just don't think they'll hit the Table Bite. And then once they're on 4 points, we lose to like Deep Dive. I just don't think we have a shot here. I feel like this is, again, our agenda suite doesn't line up with what Modernism wants to do, where it's like an Atlas with a token is absurd, an Oaktown renovation is absurd. Nice, they're back. This seems a lot worse. Oof. They're out again. Such DZ, much optimized. How's it going, Severin? We'll hold on for a bit for sure. Like, they're not even contesting the Spin Doctor to shuffle the slashback. Yeah, loud and clear. Is it ever Transport Monopoly instead of off-off? Almost definitely not. I don't think that card is very good. I don't think there's enough successful run triggers that dealing with it are that important. No worries. You need to have good money for this deck. Like, our combo is actually like 12 credits or something, right? Like, it's 5 plus 7. So you need money. So I'd be super, super surprised. The issue is, like, if you did have like an Oaktown or something that fired Zwicky, it would be really quite nice. The Agenda Suite is probably the biggest problem I have looking at this deck. Yeah, I don't like the Agenda Suite at all. I do think you can change it. I think you have options. I think off the books would be better than off. I agree, Janton. I totally agree. And I think that makes Slash and Burn a lot better to go faster so they have to keep up with us. But I think there's like an idea that you want to play off because it fires Zwicky, which, like, I don't like drawing at the end of my turn. All right, this is bad. Again, we could actually like jam unadvanced cards, and then for unadvanced cards, they can eat a Table Bite, but we have to advance cards. The server costs 5, which is not enough to make them go sub 8, which we need to do. Okay, we're on threat 4. Triple Measured Response would kill, but we don't have it. Do we just score Green Mail pass? This doesn't do much. If they score it, it also doesn't do much. Aziev makes a lot more sense here. Potentially opens up more kill patterns. Yeah, I could see it. I think it's ugly to trash your installed cards, though. We only have 13 ice, and Aziev is like a real cost to it. I'm not even running Aziev in my 3-2 fast advance deck. I just feel like it's too expensive. If that's the case, we might just play like cheaper small stuff like Tithe. We feel good. This deck actually could like a Tithe. This deck actually should be on a Shylendra. Why are we not on Shylendra? Shylendra's perfect for what the deck wants to do. Server 3 advance. Fine. I just, like, we are not forcing them to do anything on this turn. We actually could leave this and it might be better. We might not have to score this. They probably win on an agenda steal anyways. They'll run this for sure. This is 5 credits. They'll be on, nah, it doesn't make sense. We can at least threaten a BOAC, I guess. Tithe is much better than the Shylendra fact. I don't disagree with you. Oh, like, how do we ever win? If they hit a bite, we have a chance. Hush on the mask, fine. Surprised they didn't go for the Coalescence, but their money's pretty good. They have a lot of money offloaded here. And we have 1 copy of, again, Fly Swatter, best dice in the game. Oh, that's how we lose. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, the game will be over now. They break this for 3 credits. and then they should win the game. We can spin Dr. Shuffle. The problem is that if we leave the slash and burn out, we lose 2. So there's no winning line here. Actually, no, there's a winning line. They should probably contest this. But in theory, after they do this, we should pop the spin doctor and shuffle the agenda back in and hope. They have only 1 click left, so they can't really do too much. But the thing is, they know this is here, so we have to put it back. But before they hit the button, we'll spin doctor. No, they've been missing some. Sorry, I have a paid ability window there. We shuffle the deck. Yeah, they've been missing a couple paid ability windows. This one, we can't let them have. Yeah, yeah. On the table. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Oh, just as a heads up. When you're going to get lat draw at the end of the turn, you should ask your opponent if they have installed face down cards and remotes, because if it's a spin, I can dodge hand size. That showed up once already this game. All right, so we have to put this back in. We'll probably put the spin doctor back in. Yeah, it's no big deal. All right, all you. You can run back or just rip it. All right, so they can still rip it for a click to see the top of the deck. What's funny here is that they're actually, yeah, they need to get their credits up. Like, that is the right line, because there's some world where they died a multiple measure response. They're exactly on 4 cards, so we can't flatline them. The most we can do is 4 damage. Oh, they would have won if they ripped it. They didn't rip it. And now we are hyper cornered because they're on game point. We definitely shouldn't give them the SDS. I think we should have just thrown it out. But we're in a really bad spot here. We're going to lose to the cataloger sooner than later. Bite won't work. So we could do Tempo Public Trail. If they pay for it, we can measure response to knock their hand out, but we still just lose to this cataloger. So I don't think we have a play here, unfortunately. We could tempo measured response. Value meet, it's worthless when they have cataloger and they just win probably next turn. Like, they don't have to worry about bite. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Put some fear into them. I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, like, this is exactly what we need, unfortunately. But, like, now our hand is cooked, right? Like, whatever. It's probably better to put the bite on server 3, actually. It's much better to put the bite, because they could run it. Sorry. Okay, hold on. This is so sus now. We'll do that. Okay. This is bad. You should have committed to 1 line. Okay. So just something else in the server. Let's see how they deal with that information. That's our only option. There's no way they're running HQ here. All right, all you. Imagine seeing your opponent doing that swap and be like, okay, now it's a snare. Oh, it's so bad. Pretty embarrassing on my part. Should have just committed to it. All right. So they have +4 credits here. They have an 8 credit button here. We are just not forcing them. Like, we are not leading the dance. I hope that's obvious, and that's kind of the issue. Knickknack now draws a card, gains 2. They're running archives. Okay. Probably weren't going to run HQ until you pulled that. Let me swap. I know. What we did was bad for so many reasons. For what it's worth, we've only drawn through 30 cards, so divide by 5. Yeah, no, it makes sense. We have adjusted it. No, all good. All good. Thanks for asking. Good check, though. Yeah, it's good they're checking. So they wanted to flush out a spin doctor before the cataloger. They can still get the cataloger off, but they have to worry that this is a spin. So that's why we should have not swapped. Because if they're worried about the cataloger, they need to check this. If they check this, we have a small chance of winning. Man, hushing a fly swatter potentially on R&D is like a really good play. If that was a fly swatter, their money is a bit awkward. As much as the fly swatter is cheaper to break. Sick. I think we have a finance issue. I think we have a finances problem. Got him. It's a bite. They lost the Azima, a Rising Tide, Coalescence. They trashed it. They cleared a tag. Oh my god. I just... Hey, good game. We don't get the window. We technically don't win that for stats. Thanks for the game. Yeah, okay, table snare the whole time. Thanks for a game. Yeah, that was, I think that was my, yeah, making them like worried about Spin Doctor, then putting the snare on the table was kind of perfect. But yeah, that's the sort of thing. It's like one mistake gets punished really, really hard. No, not at all. Not at all. It's a good time. It's a good time. Learning is good. No, that sounds condescending, but you know what I mean? I did wonder if I need to clear the tag. Yeah, you do. I have the end of the line in hand. I think you just have to win that last click. Yeah, I don't think you clear the tag here. This showed up, mind you, on the Backroom Deals stream too, where like in this situation, if you take a tag last click and it's this many turns into the game, you know that they have end of line and you know that they have measured response in hand. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for game, eh? That your line is actually not to clear the tag because you're going to die to one of the two. You should just win. Is it a sentry on R&D? Yes. It is, but you beat it with money, right? Because the thing is like you're saying, okay, I hope you don't have the end of line, which they probably do at this point. There's 19 cards in R&D. Or I hope you don't have the measured response, which you probably do because they have 19 cards left in R&D. So you can maybe call the 50-50, but my guess is the better play is just to run HQ there. And just say like, okay, there should be two agendas in hand and then we lose the game. Yeah, I don't think clearing the tag works because you just die to the other card. If you don't clear the tag, you die to end the line. I think you have to try and win. It's a hard call to make, but like when we're this deep into the deck, I think they probably have it, especially when we're not been doing a lot. Yeah, learning is good. Thanks for game, eh? All right, they're out. Have to leave Ramona and table bite. Yeah, that'll get you there. Bite's like low-key the best card in the deck. Okay, let's change the deck slightly. I think our stats are going to be slightly off. No, maybe not. Maybe it counted that as a win. I don't think it should. Maybe it'll update. So what will it change? I don't like this. I don't like the slash and burn unless we're using the slash and burn. So let's play off the books. And we'll play 3 of those. Okay. Ice Sweep. Things that are fine. I don't think we need the Samak-Samun. I don't think I want the Valenchow. I think we have too many operations. Azief? Yeah, you're right. Let's try the Azief. A bit of chip damage. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. We could play one Mavirus maybe. Maybe. And I want to play Shylendra or Tithe. I want to just like do damage to them. The issue is we're playing 20 operations, so playing ice gets tricky. Like it just gets hard. Drop Afshar, add Winchesters. I think we're okay with Afshar. We want end the run code gates because we do want to gear check slightly. But maybe 2 Afshars is too much. I do want to play Shylendras just for centrals and see how bad they are. I think there's a chance Tithe is just better in the slot. We have no advanceable ice. Does the F have enough trashables? No, it probably doesn't. But we can always like chip damage, which can be impactful. So if this is on the table, you can do like slash and bird, advance, score, measured, something like that. I'm going to try it. I think off the books is kind of similar, but this will force us to trash our own cards, which is a bit ugly. I think if that's the case, we probably need to play more than 12 ice. So we would actually maybe go back to the Samak-Samun. What's a good 1 influence ice in the meta right now? Winchester's 4 strength, 3 subroutines for 4. I like Winchester a lot, for sure. I think if anything, we could cut a hammer for a Winchester. I just don't think we want too many Winchesters. I don't even know how good BWAC is. It's pretty good. Like, this is good if the meta is good for it, but I'm more likely to play double Winchester. Hammer's good, though, because it has a tag clause. Like, what are we cutting? I think we're cutting, like, a Gov sub or more ice. Like, maybe we go back to the Samak-Samun. It seems okay. And then we can play, like, a Tithe, maybe. Maybe a Tithe is fine for Centrals. We're on 14 ice. Yeah, Samak-Samun is probably the 1 influence ice we want to consider. I think playing cheap things like Tithe makes sense. This deck also could probably play Tucana. I worry we have too few code gates. Oh, now we have Silender. Yeah, let's try this. I feel like I should be able to get to point faster, and the faster you get to point, the faster they have to play your game. Boomy. Oh, yeah, Boomy. Boomy's interesting. I don't mind Boomy. If people click through Boomy, that's good for your other nonsense. Hey, Eden. Oh, we're going to get ruined. Hey, Eden. Best of luck. Have fun. So we need to ice up HQ, then we need to ice up archives. Hammer's good into the matchup because Seb has no good way of dealing with this besides trashing it at instant speed. Fly Swatter is really, really good in the matchup. This is a matchup where I'd rather have Boomy than Samak-Samun. Core is brutal. Yeah, Core is pretty good. 3 Petty, 3 KBI, 3 Plano is too much. It might be. And I think the Gov subs kind of can get cut. And then we can play more ice or upgrades. Gyro, how's it going? I'm okay with this hand. We really need to get an end the run on HQ as soon as possible. I think Fly Swatter makes sense as the innermost to not get transferred because you can't botchless it. So it's all about Banhar. Hammer on R&D is fine. We'll get maybe this on archives eventually. We need to stop the cheap privilege accesses. Okay, Eden kept. Not good. All right, we have a public trail. Again, if you do float tags into the Zwicky matchup, it's bad. So we'll see how quickly Eden figures out what our matchup is. Gain 3, draw a card. Then we'll ice up 2 things. Okay, Tile and RD is fine. And then we can put Fly Swatter in HQ. A lot of times I actually like Fly Swatter in the outermost. I do Fly Swatter, then hard end the run, so that in the late game, when you charge it with Banner and Botulists, you can't deal with it. It's going good. Absolutely beautiful day here. Just had a nice lunch with my wife, and now I get to watch Metropole Grid. Life's good. Hey, let's go. It's a good Wednesday. All right, we'll do the hedge fund. Otherwise, we could start with the Spin Doctor, but I'm happy with our hand. Gourmand's on the table, so it is going to face check us for sure. Nice. Double public trail. So I think we can start with the Spin Doctor. If the Gourmand trashes the Spin Doctor, we're not super upset. We do want to ice this up, probably, on the basis that Flash and Burn is in the deck. So here we can some Axamoon. I think we want some Axamoon on the inside. Early Hammer is actually pretty good into the Gourmand. I think we're going to get face checks off Centrals. Icing this up means that we won't have a remote server to jam, which is a bit of a downer, but that's fine. Gourmand will like leverage into Audrey, and so we need to make sure that we're not bleeding early easy accesses. Eventually we'll get an ice on archives. We just need to wait to threat 3. Playing the strike funds. There's the Lagu. Nice. It's going to draw a card. I'm okay scoring a green mail. I think we'll draw once. The public trail is probably not super necessary. Lost the crew. Nice. Yeah. Good. Mask on archives is fine too, but we'll probably make Hammer into some Examoon. We have a good start so far. It's not face checking. I wonder if like the respect into Mask Gorovka that you don't want to face check before you have before you have Banhar. A lot of the sub decks, mind you, are only on 2 Banhars, at least what I've seen. I don't know if that's going to be meta relevant or dependent. Nice. This is why we do this, because we're expecting a transfer of wealth, and this eats it so bad. Okay, Slash and Burn's good. I think we'll do Predictive for money. We're just absolutely ripping along. Okay, that's scary. So Praxis not yet. We want to Slash and Burn. If we top deck an Aziaf, we'll get rid of the Tithe. Even the Fly Swatter after it's rezzed. We're assuming we get transferred, and this should deal with it. The only way the transfer goes through is Boomerang, which I'm not expecting, or is like Cookbook into Audrey, which I'm not expecting. We have 2 clicks. I think we'll continue to set up. Throwing a public trade gives a lot of knowledge on the matchup. It does, but it isn't checking archives. It's a hard thing too. Like they want to float a tag anyways. Seb does. Like it wants to float a tag for Amanuensis. So yes, this is exactly why we do it. You need to make sure you don't get transferred. Sick res. 8 to transfer. 10 out of 10. Jadeki so many good low cost ice right now. Yes, a lot of good barriers too. All right, now we need to get an ice on this. So maybe we overextended on archives. Let's draw something good here. Let's draw an operation. All right, we can Aziaf Slash and Burn. Open up HQ. We don't want to. The problem is now another transfer comes through. We need to avoid that at all costs. If we do Aziaf for 2 damage, that could hit something. Mind you, it draws a card unless we trash the Spin Doctor. Good. Enough. Not perfect. Good. HQ is already open. Might as well. Yeah, you're right. At this point, we might as well. But now we can do it next turn and trash this Fly Swatter. We actually could have just trashed this already, which would have saved us a credit and might have been the correct play. But now with the Aziaf, we have something to do. HQ with a bite in it. I know, but I'm worried about the Gourmand hitting our end of the line or public trail. In terms of Steelskin check, we've seen none. We've seen 2 funds. It's looking for something, probably a Banhar. I don't think the faction is busted. I do think they lack weaknesses. Jinteki, there you go. Whole gang's here. So that means you can go HQ for sure. So we can Aziaf Slash and Burn to get the 3 points and do 2 damage. It draws a card. This means that we're going to get some aggression. Shylender is like, probably it can run through it, but I think we just have to get points on the table. I don't know what else we're doing here. Lagu draw. Lost an Audrey, great. Slash. We have a Spin Doctor. We'll trash a Fly Swatter. We hit a Botchless and a Privileged Access. Okay, that's good. It's really good. I was like, huh, it's interesting that I'm hearing this more and more. Sorry, Solo. Just hit transfer with the damage. Just me, they're saying the same thing on all channels. Yeah, those are good hits. Praxis is a massive amount of value. Let's see where Seb is putting the pressure. Banhar on HQ. So Shylender is actually one of the ones you don't want to Banhar into usually. But if the Gourmand hits anything besides the bite, we're kind of unhappy. We want a hedge fund out of this hole. We actually might want to push into this remote server. The hammer is going to get hit by Banhar, which sucks, but the Samak Samoon at least doesn't get botchlist really easily. Eden has a money issue. Purging might make sense, but okay, now we're going to face check. Oh, we're credit short of face checking here. So it might have to click the fermenter. Oh, double Gourmand. Banhar to bite is lethal. I'm assuming it has strike funds in hand, or sorry, steel skins. We've seen none. Okay, here we have to decide what we want to do. It is going to be on 1 credit next turn. It can always click for credit. Otherwise, it's going to take the fermenter and it's going to run HQ. If it runs HQ, we're in a bad spot because losing Enderline or Public Trail is pretty bad. It definitely has, we need to res the Shylendra, and I don't know if you're going to crew tram the Shylendra. You might actually, especially if you transfer instead. Like it might just do click for credit transfer and that's bad. If that's the case, we need a hedge fund out of this. We might actually install the SDF in the remote server. Okay, that gets imped, we're happy. I think we can Spin Doctor here. I just don't want to use the Spin Doctor before we lose the end of line. Edge spin back in jam. I think it's probably what we do. I'm not sure what we're going to trash with this SDF though, but it puts us the game point, so I don't think we have to care. I think we put back in the Fly Swatter. It's just so damn good. Ooh, Lagu. Yeah, fine. Lost another Audrey. I think we're pretty happy with that world. SDF is so cursed when it doesn't trigger up. It's a lot worse, but like a 3-2 does 2 meat damage. Can't be super upset. All right, it's running here. Let's see if it's a transfer. If it's a transfer, we might not res the Shylendra. No, we probably do. Yeah, it's a transfer. Yeah, second ice would have been really good. Because then you can't guarantee this play. So this drops us to 8. This will take strike funds out of hand, which is nice. 3 net damage. Just kidding, it's gone. I think we're okay with that. Hit the bite, please. Hit the bite, please. 2 tags. 2 tags one time. Transfer wealth, take a tag. Keep touching cards. Hit the petty cash. Not upset about that. We're going to come back last click with the Gourmand. We're going to float a tag here. Yeah, they crew charm it. Only a bit surprised. They can clear the tag with friend. They can go back. If they go back and hit the bite, we win 1 and 4. If we score out the SDF, it doesn't change much. They definitely have strike funds. They're floating a tag on 5. Okay. Okay, we got to think here. If we score this, we do damage. We can trash our resources, trashing our cards, which trashing the petty cash is fine. I think getting rid of the Banhar makes some amount of sense here. And then we leave HQ open. I think trashing the Banhar can make sense. We could tempo end the line, but they definitely have, it has steel skins in hand. Petty Gov, I don't think it's a big deal here. They don't have crew. I think trashing the Banhar is the most important thing. We definitely petty cash if we're going to go for that line because we draw a card first. But I want to consider, I think we throw out the Gov sub. So we're not scoring. Draw a card. Okay, petty cash, that's fine. We'll throw that out. So friend of a friend clears a tag, gaining 3. Want a Gov sub though? It might have been right. Yeah, I think you're right. We're not doing anything else. I just want to pad the hand. Maybe padding the hand is wrong. Sorry. Yeah, I think we need a res ice. That's probably fine. One and 3. Yeah, we have some ice to res, that's for sure. So now, if it hits the bite in the wrong order, another transfer is also a good reason to Gov sub. Yeah, this seems fine. Badge, okay, it'll definitely, yeah. Oof, last transfer. Okay, so 1 and 3. Public Trail, okay. It's on 2 tags, so that's still fine. Amanuensis. If we top deck a slash and burn, we might not have lethal. Okay, Bioak is okay. Very funny. We definitely do this, but now its engine is up. Yeah, that's the last transfer. Those don't come back. I don't think they're playing Katurga, but we ate 2 transfers, which is like medium. I do think we need to put something on HQ. Crew Charm can come down. They have the money. If it's a Maskarovka, they can't hit us with Banhar this turn. I'd rather have Bioak and 2 Botulus, but I think we start... End of the line is definitely going to hit Steel Skin, so I don't think we can count on that. They're likely going to be up on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to do like Azef into end of line and hope. Advance the SF at least once. Yeah, I think we will. So that means we'll probably put the BOAC on HQ. I think we're rather lethal than anything else. Just if a crew charm comes down, we can't res this. So maybe we do Maskarovka. If the BOAC hits, it's pretty good. Okay, let's see if they clear 2 tags. Maskarovka kind of looks like a ghost card. That's good. It's really good. I don't know where I put my full arts. I lost my Maskarovka full arts. I'm pretty sure I had at some point. I can't find my full art Anoetics either. The alt art Anoetics from the like nationals I ran a couple years ago. I'm just losing alt arts. I don't know why. I don't know where they'd be. So let's see if it clears the second tag. Buffer Drive, Devil Charm. Okay. Best Maskarova is the Flavor Tech sub one. Andre, I have some spare Anoetics from then. I'll bring them in August. Thank you, Solmira. Hopefully I might find some before then, but I do appreciate it. That's very kind. Oh, wow. We have Slash and Burn. They have 1 tag. GG, maybe? No, they definitely have Steel Skins in hand. If we miss the Steel Skins, yeah. It's just like we have gone through so many cards and we hadn't had a single Steel Skin. So I think we'll score this trashing the Tithe. It is Steel Skin and a Hannah, yeah. We're on game point though, which is scary with Slash and Burn. So that is good for us. So I think we just hold the line here. We could do tempo damage. We can also clear the tag from them, which demands the amanuensis. But yeah, they're holding. It's holding Steel Skins. Sorry, I've been saying they way too much. It's holding Steel Skins. Excuse me. Apologies. So we can just put the BOAC there. We need a top deck and agenda. We have 2 more 3/2s. 1 above the law, and then this. This is where like now we're leading, in theory, the dance, and it has to keep up with us. But its hand definitely has more Steel Skins. You can say the runner? Yeah, usually, but I'd rather be able to just say a pronoun. Table Bite kind of cooks a 5-0. Yeah, it kind of does. I'm assuming it'll read it more as a one time. Close. With Manuel. Oh man, I kind of don't want to do Table Bite. If anything, double icing Archives is probably the play. I think that's a respect play. The issue is like it's going to run R&D and C2. Jam Slash. I think I'd rather hold the slashes because if we top deck every agenda in our deck besides the 5/3, we can win. Oh, and that's not true. We have Green Mills. We could Jam Slash, and then we could do Slash Advance. Yeah, actually, I don't mind Jam Slash. Yeah, probably should have been right, because I think it's just going to set up if we're not jamming. Yeah, that would have been a better play and force them to interact. They don't have a tag. Petty Cash for 2. Rather discard it, but I think this draws a card, so it's fine. Ugh. At least we can NA this. I wonder if we lose in 1 turn, Manuel HQ run remote. Can it break some Examoon? It can for damage. Hope for the best. If we can just keep it busy in the remote server, that might be fine for us because we can top deck a slash. IA the SDS, we don't have to IA with double slash, but we might lose a double slash. I'm assuming it's just going to run this. Here's a praxis, okay? So if it wants to get through here, it has to use the crew, which is beneficial for us. I think that's going to produce a botulus, which is a problem, but this is why double icing Archives actually turns this line off, because then they have to put 2 cards. They can't deal with this that easily. This forces a tag, which is good with Aquaceres crew, and they only have 1 click left. It could get Hannah here, which might buy it a bit of a window. So it's friend of a friend from hand. Crew on table. Program will be Botchus, I'm assuming, on the innermost. Yes. This is fine. Whoa, this is fine. Oh no, Crew Charm. So if we res Hammer for 6, we're half money. It Crew Charms it. Then it hits a Samaxamun. If it hits the Samaxamun, it takes 3 damage. If it hits 2 Steel Skins, it's on 5 cards in hand. The issue is we're on 3 credits with a petty cash in the bin. I think we have to do it. Yeah, we probably don't need that much money, and luckily we have the clicklist 2 credits. Only one steel skin left? Oh, it's one on the bottom of the deck? Oh yeah, one steel skin left. It's on the bottom of the deck though. Yeah, the charm burn is good, especially because this is 3 damage, which means you actually no, save it to table bite, I was gonna say. But yeah, this is why you play some X-Men. Again, Fly Swatter is so good. Fly Swatter would just win the game here. Oh my god, Fly Swatter is good. Fire all, okay, yeah. If we take the damage here, that's the last steel skin, so we do win the game. Stack is only 2 cards, yeah. So we are forcing the issue. It doesn't have an Audrey, so it can't clicklessly draw. And so the end of the line will get it. SDS is going to trash the Gourmand. I think we got there. Pretty cool. Play Fly Swatters, y'all. It's good. You know it. Petty cash for fun. Hey, good game. Hey, thanks for the game. Yeah, I think double icing archives is actually like super important. The HQ runs you were gourmanding was like public trail, idle, and bite. Oh, it's out. That's a fun matchup. That's a really interesting matchup because you notice how it can actually float the tag and it's relatively safe. So Max Moon felt good there for sure. And I do think like, yeah, the thing is like if we had a, what's it called here? A Fly Swatter, we'd be in the same position. We can just score out. Bite's coming up, Fly Swatter's coming up. Happy Corp. Cool. Fun games. I don't know. Zwicky is fun. It's like very quietly just like rips along. Really, really, really good. We had some pretty good matchups. I think we got to play against every archetype, which is nice. We ran into Anarch, Criminal, and Shaper. We played Modernism. We played Fast Advance. It's weird that I feel like I like the Fast Advance a bit better, but I do think the Modernism lines are a bit different than the Modernism lines I'm used to. I do think Central's pressure is really strong right now on the runner side, and I feel like that's actually an issue. Is that the runner pressure on centrals is really high, that it's hard for us to leave centrals open. Against Lat, we could have left centrals open. Against Seb, you can't leave centrals open. Against Moosely Hot, we can't leave centrals open. Arguably against Dewey, you can. Or against Lou, you can. Against Sable, you can't. Against Moosely Hot, you can. And that's like a really weird thing where, you know, always against Criminal, back in the day, it used to be the case when you're playing Modernism. Against Anarch, they didn't exist, let alone you could leave centrals open. And the fact now that we're having to divide putting our pressure on centrals versus like pushing out on the remote server, I think you can actually feel it. It does feel noticeably like you have to split your effort. And maybe with like more bites in the deck, we can just say, I don't care. Shylander was good. Shylander actually was kind of good there. Felt okay. How do we get another bite into the deck? It's like we have to cut a planogram, cut a Samak. I think we can play, I don't know. I'm thinking Afshar splashed. Yeah, why? Just to put something on HQ? I think I saw Afshar splashed in like one of the Polish LEO lists, which I was confused about. Maybe it was not LEO, but it was just like, okay, this is something you can put on HQ. Winchester, I think, is like 4 influence, right? Yeah. Very weird. Splashar. If you're not game net. It's fine. No shot? What, the people are splashing it? No, people are splashing it. I've seen it in a couple places. I've seen it in one place, maybe. I want to give a huge thank you to all these names here and more that support the Metropole Grid so we can hang out and do streams and video content and stuff like that. We'll be back tomorrow night. Pat will be here. We're not sure if we're playing in person, paper, or on the table. We'll sort that out in the next 24 hours. We'll be back on a Friday, mind you, doing some Marvel Champion stuff on the side channel. Hopefully that'll be fun. And then we'll be back on the weekend because this is a huge weekend for organized play. Man in the Moon is doing a summer showdown. There's going to be like over 100 players in a new meta. You cannot miss it. Now, I'll let you know more tomorrow when and where it's going to be streamed. I honestly don't know, but I'm definitely signed up to do some help on the streaming side or the commentary side. So if you have a weekend to go play Netrunner or to watch Netrunner and you want to see what Elevation can do when pushed to its limit, come tune in on the weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. Yay, Pat. Yeah, Pat will be here. It's been a while since we had Pat back in. I did technically double book Pat. He usually comes on the first Thursday, and then I booked Paul on the first Thursday, not realizing it was the first of the month. I'm like, Pat, I'm so sorry. But it's fine. He'll be back on Thursday. It'll be good. Video content we definitely be working on. Hopefully I record soon enough with Jeff to do the runner side of stuff. It's been a bit hard. I was out last weekend, and we are back. Happy to be back on a Wednesday. That's mostly it. Hopefully you're taking care of yourselves, enjoying some Netrunner. We'll be back just in about 24 hours. See you then.